Now, a quick word, right? Before you review, I review any VOD, I just want to make a quick note that rather, okay, just to be prepared, to anybody watching this, it might sound like I'm being really mean or really rude or really highly critical of not just one player in this VOD, but rather both. However, rather than be like, haha, yeah, this player sucks. Look what a noob, right? A VOD review, that's for noobs. Rather than think like that, you really, really need to commend this player for opening themselves up to criticism, right? Like, don't bully them or don't look down on them for their current skill level. Really, we should be praising, right? And highlighting that opening yourself up for criticism from others is not psychologically easy. Nonetheless, it is the right path to put yourself on the path to improvement. It's the right action, right? This person is doing the right thing and it's not easy, and I think that's something as a community we should praise people more, right? Is for accepting, you know what, my play's not perfect, right? My play needs work. Let's see what there is to do about it, right? And submitting a VOD review that you know other people will see is not easy too, because now it's going to be on the internet, and now we're all going to be able to look back and see all the dumb things you did, right? But hopefully we can all learn from it, and I really wish more people would be more proactive in submitting their VODs and not being so nervous, right? So anyways, let's get started. And I see immediately you've actually done a good thing here, and you've submitted a VOD against a better player. I do know Crump. He's a good player, and I see that this matchup is difficult, right? That you don't need a VOD review for me to tell you that. However, there's a lot we can learn, right? Because very quickly, right? This is playing Ganondorf in a matchup like this. It's not a forgiving matchup, so very quickly, it's actually good almost that you're submitting a VOD of a very slow and tall character, because very quickly we'll get quick feedback, right, on your fundamentals, right? Did you have the right idea or not, right? If you don't know what you're doing, you're never going to win in this matchup, right? So let's get started. I do think if you're a very good player and you have a very firm understanding of this game, I do believe, right, that if you're a better player and you're fighting against the Belmont, this goes for any character. If you have very solid understanding of anti-zoners, right, and you have a good read and everything like that, you should be able to do well with Ganon. So, okay, so right away, you're gonna run down and shield. This was actually pretty good, pretty clean movement for you. I think you had the right. You had a. I could see you had an idea, right? You immediately ran off, immediately shielded, and this shield actually looks like it's in reaction to this holy water or to him falling down from the platform with a whip. So this is good, right? And here's a quick note: whenever you're always going to be PS2 is a common stage, right? So you're going to be in a situation a lot. It's very important to have a plan, right? And know what you're going to do as soon as the game starts. He did. He had a plan. It was throw holy water, right? And you ran. You held down your shield, maybe. So nothing too bad so far. So the holy water hit your shield. However, this roll forward was not good movement. Now, this roll that you did specifically, right, was actually quite a slow option for what it accomplished. I don't think that was a good movement option, because as you can see, right, it leaves you facing when you roll forward, it always turns you around. So you really want to be thinking of this roll more of like a cross-up roll, in a sense. Like, if you're going to roll forward like this, the intent should be like to cross up your opponent, right, and put yourself in a better spot. Because otherwise, this took you 30 frames to do. If your goal was to move forward, you could have just dropped shield and dashed forward. It's always going to be faster than rolling, right? So yeah, I don't think there's not much more to be said about that. I don't think that was good movement. Holy Water's up here now. Now, luckily, you're able to shield this in time, but I do think that more times out of not, you're going to get hit if this is your specific series of actions. The shielding into roll when your opponent's nowhere near is usually going to get you punished. Okay, so overall not terrible so far, so you're going to shield this. Now let's see what you do. Now you're kind of in a little awkward spot, right? Where you kind of aren't close enough. I'm just going to make a quick note, is that when you're dealing with a zoner, you want to be thinking about your positioning at all times. And what I mean by this is, like, obviously you should look where you are in relation to your opponent, but specifically one of the extensions here of positioning is you need to think about being in the right place, right, for your game plan, and knowing how your position affects what moves your opponent's going to use. To put it more simply, right, when you're far away from a zoner, specifically the Belmonts, you're going to be in the projectile range, so they're going to use projectiles. And when you're too close to them, they're going to use their normal moves. They're going to try to grab you, they're going to try to dash attack you, up you, whatever, right? And that's pretty intuitive to understand on paper. However, you need to have a game plan. So obviously your game plan is, I'm Ganondorf, I don't have projectiles. I need to get in on the zoner. Yes, however, I mean specifically, you need to have a game plan from moving from projectile zone to the normal zone, right? Or the zone where they're going to be unlikely to throw projectiles. Like, specifically for Belmont, you go from dealing with maybe the cross or the axe, right? Maybe even the holy water, to then dealing with the whip, right? There's going to be a zone where he wants to whip, and then if you're too close, there's going to be a zone where he will no longer whip you, and he'll try to grab you, dash attack you, or hold shield, hoping that you up B him, right? So just keep these things in mind, right? Most simple zoners have 2 zones. You can like mentally subdivide, but the point is, be careful. Let's have a plan. So right now, you shielded this, he's in lag. You actually have time to drop shield, maybe move a bit forward and shield again. But I want to see what you do. You dash away. I think this dash away is actually explicitly the wrong option, right? And this dash away psychologically kind of shows a lack of confidence, right? Remember, your game plan is to get in, right? It's to get in on him. Sure, you're dashing away because, like, oh, maybe I might bait him out. But a lot of times, zoners will hold their ground, right? And dashing away like this and then immediately dashing forward, yeah, zoner stuff. Hello, CSP4. I'm glad you're here. It's nice to have someone in the chat. So, anyways, this little dash back, dash forward either shows that you didn't have a game plan when your back was turned to your shield, so you're, oh, I'm running away, because you're scared, because you didn't really want to be in that spot with your back turned towards him, right? Or you're like, oh, maybe I could dash away and bait him out. But no, you need to have in your mind from the very start of the game that once you're this close to him, you're so close to breaking the zone, right? Opportunities like this, to get this close to Belmont, you can't take them for granted, right? Especially with Ganondorf, right? Who is notoriously going to have trouble closing this gap, was when you're close to your opponent, don't dash away and give it up, right? Because now you're resetting. Now, remember, he was in lag. After he threw that cross and it hit your shield, he was in a bit of lag. By you dropping shield and dashing away, you're basically resetting. Now you're further away, and he's in no lag, right? So you actually just made your life harder by dashing away right here, right? He's going to throw another cross, and see, now you're shielding. So you effectively had gained nothing from dashing away and then dashing forward to shield. Like, I get why you don't want to you're not trying to commit, right? You're trying to see, oh, maybe I can get a feel for him and bait him to come on out. But I think your core game plan, right, especially if you're going to be against the zoner, right, is don't assume that the zoner is going to like run up and dash attack you, because psychologically, once you play as a zoner, this will be more intuitive, right? Because right now, maybe you don't have, since you've never played as a zoner, you might not know how they want to think, but throwing projectiles just feels so safe. And once you play as a zoner, you'll understand this yourself, is that throwing the projectile is like the least mentally taxing thing you can do, because they feel so safe. You keep your position, you're not committing, and you might get some reward out of it, right? So psychologically, you're going to want to throw projectiles as long as you can get away with it. If you can win a game by pressing the B button and not the A button, you're going to try to do that first, right? So very rarely is a zoner going to just like unga bunga, like dash attack you right there. They're going to first try and see do you know how to deal with projectiles? Because if they find out that you don't, it's a free game. Alright, now that being said, he's gonna throw another cross. So you should probably react to the cross right here. You jump over it, okay. That's fine. So now what's your plan? Ooh. Okay. So the initial jump over the projectile is actually 100% okay. In fact, you should be trying to jump over projectiles, right? More often than not. You don't want to be shielding them. Ideally, jump over projectiles, okay? And use your movement to get around projectiles. However, what you did here was a lack of commitment. You could have jumped over this cross and landed right here, right? But instead, you decided to jump above the cross, burn your double jump to jump backwards, right? And now you're gonna land here, and again, you gain nothing. You had a chance here, and you didn't capitalize on it. And again, is playing a lot against zoners and specifically projectiles is you need to have a game plan ready for that projectile, and your execution, you need to have confidence in his execution. You need to have confidence that when I see the cross, I'm going to jump over it, right? I am going to jump over it, I'm going to land, right? And now I'm going to be much closer to him. And now I'm ready to see what his next option is, right? So here you didn't pressure him, so you're letting him throw out more projectiles for free. So now he committed to an axe. That's not a quick move. So basically through this axe, you let him throw out a cross. You had the time to get in and get close, but you got further away, and in fact you let him throw this axe, right? And then you shielded the axe. So this is explicitly a wrong play, because you're basically letting him get away with it. You're no threat to him, so he's free to do whatever he wants, and then you shielded the axe, right? Don't shield the axe. Get out of the way of the axe. You know where it's going to be. That axe is slow, and it follows a predictable path. It's not like the axe moves randomly, and you have to shield because you don't know. You know exactly where that axe is going to be. The second that axe leaves his hand, and you can see, like the second you see this path of the axe, you know where it's going to be. Right? So you like drop shield, re-shielded, and you kind of put yourself in a bad spot where you felt like, oh, I have to shield this. It actually would have, I think it would have even been quicker if you spot dodged the axe. You would have been able to act sooner, because the axe specifically, maybe this is the first time you're playing in a matchup. This sounds really harsh, and you're like, well, yeah, I learned that. I learned that after I hit it. This is on the assumption that somebody's watching this and they've never been in this matchup before. So go to ultimateframedata.com, right? You're going to go to Belmont. Belmont 2, Richter, right? You're going to go to that axe. So the axe has 15 frames of shield lag and 15 frames of shield stun. That means if you shield this, you're stuck in your shield for half a second, you can't act, right? That is extremely laggy. And this is on top of the fact that after these 30 frames of lag are over, you still have to go through the 11 frames of shield drop, right? That's a lot of frames, right? So if you're stuck in this situation as Ganondorf, right, don't take a 41 frame penalty, at least spot dodge it, right? Because, again, we're going to go to ultimate frame data, duplicate. Go to ultimate frame data. I believe Ganondorf's spot dodge is like 26 frames long. So we're gonna see. So if you spot dodge 28 frames long, right? So don't shield the axe, spot dodge it, right? And you'll be able to act a lot quicker, significantly quicker, right? And you'll be free to move. So yeah, ideally, just keep that in mind. If you do get put in a situation where you feel like this thing is coming and you can't get out of the way anymore, again, ideally, use your movement to deal with projectiles. Your fallback plan can be the shield, but not the axe. Your fallback plan, if you couldn't avoid it, hello, Toki. Fancy seeing you here, right? Yes, Carlos. God damn it. So, anyways. So that was a big rant about the axe. Don't shield it. Alright, so now he's going to come up before tilt you for free. Now, granted, there's a chance he could have even kept holding shield further, but like also the axe does 1,000 shield damage. Oof, right? So you don't want to be. You're like, oh crap, he might break my shield. So you get hit. All right, okay, you tech, okay. You dash away and then shield. So yeah, again, you need to have a game plan and the confidence that you can react to this projectile right, and pick a plan, right? Have the confidence and the game plan that when you see this cross, to jump over it, right? You ran back. You could, at any moment in this dash back, you could have jumped over, right? Also, if you shield it, it sends a cross back, so you can throw another cross even sooner. So don't shield the cross, and now you jump, right? And now you double jump. I think this I also think was a bad idea because you're putting yourself on the platform for no real reason, and now you're on the platform and the opponent's on the ground. This explicitly, I think, is a bad idea because now it's even harder for you to position yourself correctly because you can't really go forwards or backwards. You're stuck on the platform, so you can't position how you want. And in order to close a zone on the zoner, you're going to have to jump off this platform in a really obvious way, right? It's going to be really obvious, really reactable, and this Belmont has the range to just like sit here, wait to see what option you pick, and if you pick a jump here, he's just going to forward air you, right? So don't put yourself on a platform like this unless you have a very specific game plan for it. But if you're just trying to like, you know, play neutral, feel out your opponent, this is not a position you want to put yourself in. Again, unless you have a very specific reason for doing it, but don't do this, right? Granted, he doesn't make much out of it. He doesn't get too much out of it. You're able to... this run-up tilt, I don't think was a good option from his end, right? So you're able to actually just jump out, jump backwards. But again, as you can see, you're kind of forced to like... you're not forced to jump and put yourself in the air. And this jump back, if somebody reads it, right? It's either common that our opponent will either jump towards the stage or jump away, right? So if he reacts, he just waited and reacted. He could have just ran up, forward air you. It's gonna outrange anything you do, and now you're against the ledge. You're on the ledge against Belmont. You really don't want to be like there. So, anyways, luckily, he. By the way, how does the stream look? I just realized this is on 480p. I thought it looked kind of ugly. If there's any problems with the stream, just let me know. Anyways, so you're able to react to him doing a bad option. You're like, oh, I'm going to come down and hit him. You hit the shield, but again is there. Isn't terribly unsafe on shield. And if you space it, it should be safe, so it's fine. Now, you have closed the distance, and you decide to forward tilt. I don't think that nair into forward tilt, what option would this cover? Okay? Because the nair puts you in -5. Like, I know like Ganon's nair is pretty safe, but it's still like -5 or -6. So he basically means you can't get shield grab for it. But it doesn't mean pick your slow frame 10 forward tilt, right? Because think about that. Okay, so nair, let's just assume you got the, looks like you got a second delay. Let's just assume it's -7. You get a -7 there, right? If you pick forward tilt right as you land, I'll come out frame 17. What that really implies that the only way this hits is if they drop shield and pick nothing, right? Or if they do some crazy like shield drop forward tilt. But what I'm getting at is that this forward tilt had extremely low chance of working, right? More often than not, this won't work, right? And I don't think you should pick this option because A, the reward you would get from it is not that high, and the risk, right, or the commitment is too high for what it's going to give you. It's really unlikely this is going to work, right? If you're not sure, right, you could just nair a person's shield and just wait. See what they're going to do, right? And then you can learn, right? See what your opponent's panic option is after you touch their shield, right? Because this won't be the only time that you nair someone's shield as Ganondorf, right? And it's really important that when you do, you learn what your opponent's next option is, right? And I think you pre-committing this forward, so pre-committing to an option that's unlikely to work is not a good idea, right? So some potential things you could do is, as I said, you could just sit here and wait, right? Because they have to pick an option. And the only way he hits you is if he does a crazy up B out of shield. But I think you could just like, if you're not sure, if you're out of range of his up B, which you can go on Ultimate Frame Data, you can see the up B, right? And you can see it is frame 6, And you can see it actually has a somewhat decent range out of shield. Not the biggest, also not the smallest. If you're not sure, right? Oh man, can I get hit? Just hold shield too, because you can just bait it out. And assuming, here's also another problem. This is something I didn't even know, right? I didn't think about this, right? Is when you go into a matchup, you can just go on ultimateframedata.com if you've never played the matchup before, right? Go to ultimateframedata.com and they even make it really easy. Down here in the miscellaneous info, they tell you what their fastest out of shield option are. As you can see, up B, 6 frames. You're like, huh, let me go see the hitbox of that. Let me go see the hitbox of that up B. Oh wow. Oh wow, that hitbox is kind of nice. -6, and my Nair, if done perfectly, is -5. This is the best possible hitbox, which is the second early hitbox. You have to get a crazy timing to get at -5 to where he can't punish you. Otherwise, if that man mashes up B, they're gonna hit you. So keep that in mind. You can't just hit his shield for free, right? With Nair, like you might in other matchups. Alright? That is something I didn't know until I actually saw this frame 6. I thought it was like frame 8 or something. Alright, I don't play Belmonts too often, as you can see. But now you know, right? Granted, maybe they don't know how unsafe it is, but they didn't even try here. Alright, anyway, so you nair a person's shield, right? You don't get the follow-up, it happens. So let's see what happens next. Okay, he's gonna jump away, he's gonna whip, he didn't angle it, right? Okay, so now both of you, you're still stuck in your lag from your forward tilt. Now, and he's landing, so let me see what you do here. You put up shield, and you put up shield again. I think maybe you weren't sure. You're expecting a whip, and so it's fine, right? You're gonna unfortunately get hit by the cross. Okay, so one thing you can do is since the whip is unreactable, right? Hello, Zedakai. Hi, big fan. Well, I'm gonna put a heart in chat as well. Hello. So we got this VOD submitted today. Oh, is the chat showing up? Hey, can y'all see the chat on screen? Hello, Ace. Hello, Tony. Okay, maybe the chat's not showing up, and that's kind of awkward. Oops. But anyways, I'm gonna go in here. So where were we? Okay. So you got put in a slightly awkward situation. Alright, right here. So this is where we were. We're gonna play this in slow motion. Plays in real slow motion. Okay, so you did this forward tilt, he backed away, he whipped, you're like, oh man, maybe he might whip me. Again, fair, that's fair, right? So, you shielded, okay, no whip, you drop shield. Right here, right, you need to, like, okay, you know what? You just reacted to him being in the air, and you don't know what he's gonna do, right? So, this shield, right, is you need to have the timing down in your mind, right? Have the timing for that forwarder down in your mind. However, keep looking at him to see if he actually whipped you and react, or that the projectile's coming out. I think you could have shielded this. I think you were able to shield this in time if you had seen the projectile. If not, it happens, right? Tough luck. He threw out a perfect cross to cover your attempt at a parry of the forward air, right? Because I get it. Forward air can be hard to deal with if you don't parry it. Also, you don't have much shield, right? So you kind of have to go for this parry. Okay, you get hit by a cross though. Honestly, you're only at 23 damage. And this is another thing too, is keep this in mind when you're playing a zoner. A small mentality tip is that a lot of times the projectiles are not what really the reward a zoner gets from the projectile is a lot less than your reward from getting in. So look, you just got hit by a cross, you took some damage, but that's it. It was just 7 damage, right? Let me see how much damage that was. Okay, you're at 15 damage, you got hit by a cross. You went to 23. That's just 6 damage. Right? Or am I bad at math? Is that 8? I don't care. I honestly don't remember at this point. Whatever, 8 damage. That's it. and he can't get a follow-up out of it unless he commits. He can't guess. Like, he can't just sit there. I mean, I guess he could, right? And try to get a better follow-up by running forward and committing to that projectile hitting you. But if he, the super, super safe projectiles, aka the really far range ones, will have the least reward, right? And that's the thing you have to keep in mind, is for a zoner to get a nasty reward, they have to commit to the projectiles, usually. So, it's alright though. So you know what? I think the game plan is fine. You're trying to get in, right? You got hit by a projectile, who cares? Okay, you got hit by it on the way back. Who cares? Right? What, 28 damage? You're Ganondorf. Who cares that... This is literally... Who cares? You're gonna try again, you're gonna go in. Because you get in once, you can blow him up. Ideally. Assuming you know your follow-ups. Right? Okay, now he's gonna throw an axe. No! Oh, nice, nice, nice. Maybe you weren't sure if he was gonna whip you. So you got shielded, and then you saw, oh, he axed. Free. Okay, this was really close to being a good play, right? Because you finally had closed the distance, right? You finally got in. You're right here. He is in his end lag. You're dashing forward, right? You're not going to make it in time to get a true punish on his axe. However, you can now play a rock, paper, scissors game that's probably in your favor. Right now, you can dash attack. You keep running forward to see if they're going to roll away, right? So, but instead, you actually, and this is a minor thing, it comes down to game plan. You actually jumped right here. Keep in mind, you don't have an amazing, it's not like you have a nest, you could do like a rising forward air, right? You're Ganondorf, you're trying to hit these landing aerials, maybe space out a short hop nair or something like that. But the point is, you weren't in range for the short hop nair to connect, and you recognized, he's gonna be able to act, right? But jumping up in the air like this, especially look at how slow this is. Right? I get you're trying to land with Nair, but the zoner is not gonna sit here for like 40 million frames in shield, right? A lot of times they're not gonna sit there and shield, right? They're gonna do something else. So the only way this Nair would have worked, you jumped, you came down. Think about how slow this option is, and think about how much they can get done in that same amount of time, right? He had enough time to run away, make a fair amount of space between you two, and safely throw out a cross because you went into the air. Try to avoid going into the air like this unless you have a specific game plan, because like, I have an amazing long-range rising aerial. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in the air for no reason. You're a lot slower in the air. Your nasty burst options, they're not going to work anymore. You're too high for your amazing side B or whatever. Well, I don't know what moves you think Ganon has that are amazing, right? I think side B is pretty good. I think dash attack's pretty good. But point is, jumping up and doing this falling nair had very low odds of working, and the reward you would have gotten probably not amazing, right? But it's okay, because now you have landed, the cross is coming, you shielded it, we're going to reset the situation again. And this is the thing about zoners, is you're going to be put in situations like this a lot. Situations where you almost close the distance a lot, where a projectile almost hits you, and you have to learn. That's why it's very important to have a game plan, right? And get your execution down, because otherwise you're going to be put in situations, you're going to keep making mistakes and forming bad habits. But if you're in a situation a lot and you have a game plan, you can start forming really good decision making. Okay, so you shielded it, you drop shield, you ran forward dash attack. I think that's fine. That was a fine. This is the type of play you should be doing, right? Because you recognize, now I am at the distance where I have access to my dash attack or my other burst options or whatever, right? I can finally hit him, right? Now you're playing. If you want to think of it like a rock paper scissors, you can. And granted, the match has barely started, so you haven't had time to get the reads on your opponent. So you kind of playing like a rock paper scissors, but you kind of have to. And it's honestly in your favor, because if you guess right, you got a dash attack opening. Now the Belmont has to get away from you, right? Granted, you guessed wrong. He actually jumped forward instead of pressing another button. He could have dashed back too, but anyways, he jumped over you. Not terrible, right? But you probably should have reacted to it and realized he's gonna land with that whip, right? This is the like ideal. Whenever you have this distance between you, and the Belmont is landing, they're gonna whip because it's like a no commitment, zero risk whip. Because even if you read this whip and parry it, you're not gonna punish it, right? So it's okay. And you had time to shield it for sure. It's okay. Now he's gonna whip you, and he's kind of like just gonna fall back. He's gonna throw out a cross that covers nothing, right? So that wasn't really a good play from his part. But now he's gonna let you get off the ledge for free. Okay, good timing to get past the axe. He's not really doing much here. He's gonna throw across the wrong way, and you wave landed on this platform just to be funny. This, I think, again, is like a wasted opportunity. It's wasted movement, right? Your time is very valuable, especially in a matchup like this, right? You can't be wasting it unless you have a very... Hey, what's up, Raw Dog and Rolo? Thank you for tuning in, man. I know this VOD might not be terribly relevant for you, but I guess it kind of is, right? Ganon is just slow Falcon, as they say, right? And this Belmont matchup is probably not fun for you, as I imagine. So, maybe there's something to be learned from here. So, on that topic, we're talking about his time is valuable, right? And jumping up here and putting yourself on the platform, you're giving up a lot of pressure. You're giving up time. Think of where you could be right now. If you had just stayed on the ground and held forward, you would have closed this gap. Now, granted, maybe you didn't know that he was going to do this B-reverse projectile. You thought it was going to come forward, but if you just kept holding forward, you could have reacted to the cross, jumped over it, and closed the gap, right? But instead, you put yourself on the platform, again, which is not a great spot to be in. We already covered that, right? Now you're stuck trying to land. And now look, now you're trying to approach him, except now he has a cross covering him, right? Now he has setup. This is like kind of like a setup situation where you're like, you know what? In situations like this, just back off. That cross will disappear eventually. This is like, you know what? Is this worth it to approach right now? Oh, he just caught the cross on accident. Okay, so now he's throwing the axe and you jump into it. This definitely means you weren't watching him to see that he was summoning the cross. You could have definitely at least, maybe you jumped before you saw the cross. However, by the time that cross leaves his hand, you should have at least reacted to the cross and air dodged. So I think you weren't looking at him. You definitely had time though to air dodge this. Yeah, like see how long the axe stays visible, right? I know, like, I slowed it down, so you're like, well, of course you have time to react to this. Maybe that's what you're thinking, right? But if we go back a bit. Oh, also, I just want to make a quick note. Since you asked, Rolo, here's what's up. I didn't go 0-2 in today's Wi-Fi tournament, and honestly, that's all I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to practice Wi-Fi, pick up Wolf, and not go 0-2. That's just my goal for Wi-Fi. Right, trying to learn and not go 0-2. That's like the minimum results threshold I have. And then, because at some Wi-Fi tournaments I actually go 0-2, I'm like, wow, I feel like I couldn't do anything. And I'm trying really hard not to mash on Wi-Fi. But I'm like trying to be very calculated on Wi-Fi, and sometimes I feel like I just don't know what to do. So the fact that I didn't go 0-2 today, I think I made it to losers finals today actually for NXL. So I was like, yo, Pog. It's a lot better than I thought I was going to do, if I'm honest. I almost lost my round 1. Anyways. So, Ganondorf jumps into this cross, does an air dodge. But, oh wow, Richter, I was going to say, normally, safe projectiles don't have. You went your usual 0-2 lol. Oh yeah, I saw you actually lost to the Joker, who... he almost beat me round 1. I was like, I don't know what to do against this Joker. I'll be honest. That like he was going like smash attack into smash attack into smash attack. I'm like, wait, why can't I punish this? It's kind of crazy. So I felt like I had to like make 2 reads in a row. Like I had to make like the most insane. Like I read his smash attack into spot dodge and then once I saw the spot dodge, I was like, oh, it's a down smash. Boom, now I could punish. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work. Maybe I need to pick a different character for Wi-Fi, but. I was like, wow, I'm actually about to lose to this. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, so yeah, he got hit by this axe, and he almost got some optimal punish. But you know what? He didn't get the nastiest punish of his life. So now you're able to land. Kind of like reset the situation because he whiffed. Now this downer you did right here is actually pretty bad, and it's pretty common. So we're going to talk about it real quick. Buffering an option in disadvantage, buffering an attack is extremely common. People want to fight their way down, as I like to call it, right? And I get why you want to attack. You want to get out of tumble. Intuitively, you might not notice, right? But you can fast fall the second you input an attack. If you're in tumble, you can't fast fall. So a lot of players instinctively are like, oh, I need to get down. So they attack and fast fall at the same time, and they're like, this attack's going to cover me. However, it's extremely greedy, and it's a bad habit. Explicitly a bad habit for a lot of players. You gotta keep in mind, if you are going to attack to get out of tumble, it has to be with a purpose. And that purpose is, right, oh, I need to get out of tumble. So you're gonna have to pick the lowest FAF aerial. For you, that would be up there. So if you're, let's just say you're way up in the blast zone, and you're like, I've been tumble, I need to get out of tumble. If you up there and just hover there, you're like, okay, I am now out of tumble, I have access to all my options, basically risk-free. However, when you're close to your opponent like this, like keep in mind your downer's not even fast. It is frame 16, and it's not like it has the biggest hitbox in the world. So what are the odds of this downer actually hitting your opponent? It is in fact quite low because the move is so slow. There are some characters where mashing an attack at a disadvantage can be a viable alternative to air dodge if they come out just as fast or pretty near. Or some characters have like some unique quirky properties, like Snake has frame 1 grenade, so okay, you might want to mash that in disadvantage to test if your opponent knows how tight their combos are. Luigi has frame 1 invincibility on Cyclone, so you might want to throw it out to test your opponent to be like, if you don't know how to deal with a frame 1 option to escape combos, I'm going to mash down B and you're going to get punished. However, Ganondorf has no such thing. And in fact, you practically picked the slowest option in disadvantage, to be very careful, right? Now, that's just a thing. I don't want to repeat myself. So you just keep an eye out to see how often you do this, and consciously go into a match and make it your goal that match not to win, but just to not down air in disadvantage, right? Again, very common habit, but you can break out of it by consciously applying effort. Now, you're not going to get punished right now, and just a quick note, right? It's important to separate outcome from expected, how to say this? It's important to separate the expected outcome from the actual outcome. And what I mean by this is if something's a bad play, but it works out, it's still a bad play. Likewise, if something's a good play, but it doesn't work out for some reason, it's important to recognize it might have still been the right idea, just maybe something quirky happened, but it was the right idea. So again, this was the wrong idea. You didn't get punished, but it was still the wrong idea. Okay, he's gonna land with Nair. How did you just... How did you get away with this? Did you drop shield? Yeah, you drop shielded in side bead. So again, you got rewarded here, but the only way I think this would have worked is if he had known he was going to whiff his grab at close range, which honestly, you kind of had no way of knowing if that grab was going to whiff. So again, think about picking a more, yeah, like that option. I know Flame Choke's like frame 16, right? Yeah, it's frame 16. Be really careful because it's dropping shield and then side being. That's going to be a frame 27 option because you have to add the 11 frames of shield drop. So picking a frame 27 option out of shield is probably not the way to go. Now, that being said, if your goal really is, I am going to flame choke my opponent, right? Because I know he's going to whiff. At least do the air choke, right? At least just do the jump side B. You could do it with the C-stick, right? So you could like do a C-stick fair, right? But instead of, but press the B button. So do a C-stick fair, press the B button, and you will buffer a perfect flame choke right off the ground, right? So it's gonna be a perfect air choke, and that'll be frame 19 instead of 16, but it's a lot quicker than dropping shield and side being, right? So that's a thing you can practice on your own. Granted, I know air choke has different follow-ups than the grounded flame choke. This is a minor note. If your goal really was to do that, I think you could have just air choked instead. Likewise, you could do the same thing with up B. If you could, up B is frame 14, right? You can actually do the the dark dive, like if you do a C-stick up air, right, just do a short hop buffered up air, but press the B button, you're gonna get the aerial version of this up B, which has a massive starting hitbox and a lot of drift, right? So you can use it as a legitimate out of shield option. Anyways, just a thing to keep in mind. More importantly, though, I don't think you should have gone for this air choke. You have faster options, I think, right? In fact, could you have jumped and down-aired? I think if you had jumped and down-aired, it would have been faster. That's what's crazy. Yeah, I think you had jumped, buffered a short hop down air. That was gonna be faster than dropping shield and side being. So just keep that in mind. Even if you did know, is this really the optimal punish at 0 if you know they're gonna whiff grab? Probably not. If it is, well then it is. But I think in a sense he kind of got lucky here. All right, so he whiffs grab. Side B. Do you know your follow-ups? Forward tilt. Okay. This is you as the Ganon main, you have to do your homework and figure out what is the optimal follow-up from Flame Choke. Like, what options does it cover? That forward tilt, what would it have covered, right? As far as I know, I think that's okay. Okay, now you're gonna run forward. You see him holding shield. You dash attacked. I don't think you should have dash attacked here. This is just like, this comes with time, right? Is you're gonna be put in this situation a lot. You forward tilted, right? You're like, okay, this should be intuitive, right? Before you even see this shield, you should know he's in a situation where he can shield, and this just is intuition that comes with time. Is you should be able to recognize that your forward tilt would have put in a situation where he's going to shield, and you should already have your game plan. You should already know what you're gonna do, right? And it should not be dash attack probably, right? This had pretty low odds of working because most opponents here are either going to spot dodge or shield. It's very, very, very common, right, that the opponent would have put up the shield or spot dodge, and both of those options would have beaten out your dash attack. So this dash attack had a very low odds of working. They would have had to press nothing or mash the A button, which at higher levels of play, people stop mashing the A button randomly, and they'll default to holding shield when they're scared. Like, you can see the psychology when you're in an unfamiliar situation, because how often is Ganondorf going to forward tilt you and put you in that situation? Not very often. So you got to recognize when a situation is novel to your opponent, more often than not, they're going to hold shield. Unless you have a read on the specific habit for what your opponent does in novel situations, more often than not, they're just going to shield. So you should have read, like, oh, my opponent's probably never played a Ganondorf from bracket, probably never been hit by forward tilt. They're going to hold shield. I'm going to run up and grab them. Or side B them. Or whatever. Okay, but he up B's you out of shield for it. It's okay. Gan, though, not the most... I know you're losing right now, but it's not by that much. Although soon you'll start getting hit by a projectile and get sent pretty far. Okay. Is it a holy water? You jump... I think again, I think this double jump, I want to say was the wrong idea. However, he just fell down and summoned a cross. I think this cross was the wrong call on his end, because I don't think he had any reason to believe he would be right there, because he just jumped off the platform, right? He's like, I'm going to fall through the platform and cross. And he doesn't know, maybe he's not familiar with his character, but by the time while he put the cross, like, the cross is at ground level. You just jumped. So luckily you're like, okay, so now I'm going to double jump. I'm going to land. Ooh, your Naro's out of range. Again, I think he's unfamiliar with his grab range. Again, he's going to go for a grab that is nowhere near connecting, right? And it's important to recognize what in the heat of the moment, it's hard, right? But once you become very comfortable with your own character, you can start picking apart your opponent's mistakes. Like, now you know, wow, my opponent has no idea what his grab range is, right? Or because he thought that this was going to connect. You're nowhere near. So what punish do you get? No punish. Okay. Again, you definitely had time in this situation to pick a punish, right? Because whiff grab is 37 frames, right? If he whiffs his grab, he's got 37 frames before he could put up shield again, right? Let's just say you react to the actual grab. You've got 27 frames. You definitely have time to input something, right? So I think you could have definitely gotten a punish off that whiff grab, or at the very least have a plan. I think jumping right here is not the plan to keep up pressure, right? Because let's just say you saw the grab, you're like, I don't think I have time to punish, to get a true punish. However, right, you should not have drop shield and jumped here. Let me see. Did you drop shield and jump? Let's count frames. I know it sounds annoying, but we're going to count frames here. Oh no, okay, you just jumped. You're going to jump straight up. But think about if you're going to whiff, right? If you're not going to punish this, your opponent's like, oh fuck. Oh, God. Sorry for the cuss words, right? But your opponent is thinking that. He's like, oh man, I just whiffed, right? He's going to have a habit here, right? And I think more likely than not, this jump up, well, you're not going to put yourself in a position to punish his next option. So now he's going to jump away. He's jumped away before. And then you land, you get hit by the cross. You forgot the cross was coming. It happens, right? Now he's going to get a free punish. Oh, it misses. Hey, at least you tech. Okay. So just to finish this off, right? I think this jump right here, you didn't have your game plan should be on whiff to run forward, right? Run forward, see what your opponent's going to do, right? And the more often you run forward, right, and keep it in your mind that your goal should be to close the gap on like as fast as possible. And by jumping into the air, you're not doing that. So run forward, learn what your opponent's going to do. In this case, he unfortunately got hit by the cross coming back, throws the axe, doesn't connect. You tech, what do you do now? You jump again. This jump wasn't honestly too terrible. However, it is pretty common, but it's kind of a guessing game because some players also like to drop through the platform and back air. And if he guesses that you're going to drop through this platform and back air, and he's holding shield in anticipation, then you jump away for free, right? Again, though, being on the platform, not a great spot. And that's one of the reasons why, right? I think you're playing a mix-up game, not in your favor. But you can't help it. Now you're on the platform. Jumped away, and immediately try to fast fall. You got hit. Okay, so that was just kind of like, you kind of had to guess where he was going to be or what he was going to do. You guessed wrong, but again, you didn't knocked away. Not the end of the world. Okay, now soon it's going to start becoming really tough here. So let me see. Okay. Okay, that cross is to go. You didn't have to tech here, actually. Now I see this closer. Okay, so this is a minor note, right? And by saying minor, right, it's actually pretty big, right? But it's subtle. It's a subtle note. When you're in tumble like this, only tech when you can't act. Like if you're being knocked towards the ground and you literally have no option, like you're still in hit stun or hit lag or whatever you want to call it, then you have to tech, you tech. However, once you're out of hit lag and you're free to act, free to pick any option you want, don't pick to tech. Use your auto cancel. So this is actually a big suboptimal play. That's a little subtle. It's a little subtle to see, right? But look at your moves. Find the move with the biggest auto cancel window, right? In this case, it's either forward air or back air. They got 6 frames of auto cancel, and then you have to time your back air or your forward air, right, to hit the ground. This is assuming you're about to land. Let's just say you're too close to the ground to do anything else, right? But you're able to act. Try to abuse your auto cancel window to avoid a tech situation. Although here, see there, you air dodge and you didn't have to. So maybe you're air dodging something else. Maybe you're trying to air dodge a whip and it puts you into a tech. But ideally, right, either abuse your auto cancel, or if you're up here, you can also, like, if your opponent's too far away, you can just do an aerial and then fast fall and pick, in that case, pick your lowest landing lag move. Granted, Ganon, I think Nair, right, would be 10 frames of landing lag. So yeah, you could just Nair and you can just Nair and land. But I think I think it's better to avoid a tech situation if you can, because this is like a fake tech situation that you put yourself in. Okay, you're gonna get hit by the cross. It's gonna axe. Get back another axe. Okay, you parry it. Let's go. But there's just one problem. Axe is also a move you don't want to parry, since unfortunately, you could count frames. Is that parry still gives you you still eat the shield lag. You still eat the shield stun of the projectile. I think rolling here would have been good, because look, we're gonna count frames. So you parried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now you should be able to act. Yeah, now you do act. So you basically, by parrying, you still ate those 15 frames of shield stun of that move. That's significant, right? Obviously, it's a lot less than just shielding it. And then you roll forward, right? So if your intent, right, is to just roll forward, input the roll before the projectile hits you, because parrying and then rolling is objectively worse than just rolling before the move you're trying to dodge comes out, right? So maybe you were rolling in reaction to this F smash. That's kind of risky, but you did it. So now you've closed the gap. Perfect. It's gonna be this right here. What I'm gonna say is gonna be a minor nitpick, but okay, you dodged it. You forward rolled, and see, if you had just forward rolled, I think, yeah, maybe you would have gotten hit by that F smash. Ironically, so this kind of worked out. It's a bad spot to be in, right? But it worked out. But it's not like you intentionally tried to dodge this F smash at the right time by inputting that roll. I think you didn't see this. But anyways, but you're close, and you're like, I have forward roll. And he F smashed. I must have enough time to punish. Tough luck, right? That's unfamiliarity with the matchup. Is once you grind it up. So don't worry. This right here, I'm not too upset about, because as you grind out a matchup more, it will become more and more familiar to you what you have time to punish and with what can you punish it, right? So fortunately, he put up shield, and likewise, you will learn in which situations. Like again, your opponent's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? They pick to hold shield. You dash attack to shield again. So you're like, now you know. Next time, pick another option. Grab or something. Now you dash attack to shield. And you side B. Why do you side B? Oh, I see. Maybe you thought you were going to cross up, and that's why you side B backwards. However, even if that was your intention, was to cross up with this dash attack, yeah, it didn't happen. Right? That's not the problem here. The problem here was that you had mentally buffered, I'm going to dash attack, and then I'm going to side B. It's clear that that was your mental intention. However, what are the odds of dash attacking someone's shield and then side Bing and that working? Your opponent would literally, think about how long your opponent will have to hold shield, and think about how often this opponent has shown you that they're going to hold shield for that long. So I think have a different game plan against an opponent that's not going to hold shield for 1,000 years, and pick an option that's a little more likely to work. Granted, it's a little, regardless, the situations are pretty awkward, because I think, look, it looked like you were in a cross-up. I thought you were in a cross-up, but you didn't cross-up, right? That looks like it should have been a cross-up dash attack. Right, so maybe you're already anticipating, okay, I'm going to be on his back. What's he going to do? Personally, I think you should have... like done either waited and see what your opponent does, right? Or realistically, you should have got an upbeat here. Your opponent likewise didn't upbeat out of shield, and they could have, because they actually upbeat out of shield one of your dash attacks before, so they know they can do that, but they chose to just jump away, which I think was suboptimal here. They pick a suboptimal option, you pick a suboptimal option, then they land and grab. Really weird play from the both of y'all. Happens to the best of us. So suboptimal plays. Now you're gonna run forward. Okay, good. Okay, you thought he was gonna whip. That's fine. But then you jump. I think you're putting yourself in the air over. Like, you shield once, and I get it. Running, holding shield, and then dropping shield and running again feels really slow. But it's way more optimal for your spacing. how do I say this? You're pre-committing to your jump, even if it's not the optimal jump spacing. This is one thing you have to realize. Like, you have to space your jumps, right? And the further away you travel in the air, and the more time you spend in the air, that's more time for your opponent to react and punish you. So you don't want to be jumping from this far away, right? That's just not gonna work, right? So I get it. You had put up your shield, and now dropping shield, I know it takes forever, right? But sometimes you just gotta drop shield and move forward. You gotta predict that your opponent's gonna dash away. It kind of feels like you jumped here, like at the exact frame that you jumped. Sure, you know what? At this literal exact spacing, if your opponent does not move, then your jump puts you in the perfect arc, right, to get that falling nair you want. However, you gotta consider that your opponent will stay moving, and especially if you're doing a full hop and then a fast fall aerial, your full hop is extremely reactable, and this goes for all characters except Fox, right? Pretty much except just Fox, right? That full hop is extremely reactable, and no opponent's gonna let you full hop and land on them for free, right? You have to be at the right spacing to full hop. Like, especially if, in theory, I guess if you jump straight up and came straight down at the perfect timing, that could be hard to punish. However, that's not what you're doing, because you're actually jumping forward, and in fact, you double jump, which is even more reactable. It's actually explicitly even worse as an approach option, right? This should be only done as a rare mix-up and with an explicit purpose. Like, burning your double jump like this, you need to know exactly why you're doing it. Because burning your double jump to approach, right, is extremely risky. Because everything I just said before about reactability, right, is now made even worse since you're going to spend even more time in the air, right? And now you've got to come down, and if your opponent anti-airs you, now you're stuck in the air with no double jump. So you're burning one of your valuable resources, and you're not making it any easier for your aerial to hit. In fact, you're making it harder. Like, I know why you're double jump, because you're like, oh, well, now I'm too far away. Now I can't land and get that sick nair I wanted. So you feel like you have to double jump in order to get the proper spacing. And this is what I mean. Proper spacing comes from where you start the jump, right? Once you jump, trying to fix the spacing in the air is a really bad idea. It's actually a pretty common habit I see a lot of players do is they try to fix their spacing in the air by burning their double jump, right? Proper spacing for your jump comes from the ground, right? So this just means spend more time on the ground, right? And think about either read where your opponent's going to be and what they're going to do and then jump. Ideally, you want to be running as fast as possible. Also keep in mind you're a lot slower in the air too, so your horizontal movement is effective when you're in the air. So spend more time on the ground is the short and sweet of it. But practically, very rarely are going to get away with this approach option, so don't do it. So yeah, like, see, your opponent saw you all the way up here and just waited, and they're like, okay, what are you going to do? And they just down tilted your landing lag. They had like 10 million years to plan, and they knew too you're going to land with the aerial. You burn your double jump, and then you're like, oh wait, now I gotta land. I can't just back off. I can't just fast fall straight down, right? I think one of the things you could have done here was just fast falling straight down right here, right? That's an option, or play some mix-up game. But you land with the nair, so now your opponent knows you're committed. The second they saw you up here, they knew, bro, you're gonna land with that nair. So you literally look, he's pre-crouching. That makes it even more obvious to everyone watching that, like, okay, bro, boom, down tilt, gonna get that follow-up. Now you're at the ledge against Belmont. He's gonna whiff. Do you react to the whiff? Okay, neutral, get up and you shield, because he's like, okay, you whiff, bro. I think you could have ledge jumped here. Like, if you saw him whiff and throw the axe the wrong way, I think you could have ledge jumped. It might have been a bit faster, but this is fine. I think it's fine. I think I would have done the same thing here, TBH. So now, okay, boom. He has dash attack your shield. This is the first situation. It's the first time this specific situation happens. Let me see if you know what follow-up you're going to get. No. Okay. So explicitly what happened here, what was wrong, was he had dash attack your shield. You should know that this is a free punish. right? You should at least assume it's a free punish. Maybe you don't know for sure because you haven't looked at the numbers, you haven't crunched the numbers, so you don't know how unsafe dash attack is on shield. However, you should at least know most characters' dash attacks, until proven otherwise, most characters' dash attacks are going to be unsafe on shield. Like, that should be your base assumption, is that a move is unsafe on shield until proven otherwise, with the exception of, like, you could get an intuitive sense of which aerials are safe or not. So look at that, minus 26. You could have literally just sat there, jumped, and down aired out of a shield, and would have sent him into the blast off stage, and it would have been funny. But you definitely just need to recognize that. I know it's very situation dependent, but generally speaking, how strong of an option is neutral get up from ledge. Considering that there's only one frame to true punish it, right? On paper, it's great. In practice, it's all comes down to a mix-up. Until your opponent proves that they're willing to call out the neutral getup, because a lot of times neutral getup is reactable, but only with a grab. That's more often than not. So if you're playing the odds, like, you know what, I don't think my opponent is the type to smash attack my neutral getup, then neutral getup becomes more safe because your risk reward is maybe I get thrown and they don't have a kill throw, right? And so yeah, like, it really depends on your opponent. If you have an opponent, like, let's just say you're playing against a wolf, right? And you're like, maybe I should ledge jump because the only way I could die from this, maybe you should, like, maybe I should do ledge jump air dodge because the only way I die from that is to get, like, the nastiest spacing in the world for the back air. But let's just say you're at 60 to 70%, right? You're like, I'm not gonna die to this insanely timed sweet spot back air. However, a lot of wolves, they charge a smash attack at the ledge. They gotta do an F smash or down smash, and that shit will kill dummy early. So maybe against wolf, you probably don't want a neutral getup. It all comes down to what your opponent has proven to you that they're comfortable going for that punish, right? So yeah, it is reactable. So the short and sweet of it is that it's reactable, normally just with a grab though. So it's okay to go for, right? If you don't know anything else about your opponent, a ledge jump is unreactable, and neutral getup is reactable, usually just with a grab though, right? Some characters do have really fast tilts, or very fast lingering tilts that can easily cover ledge jump. Like, I wouldn't neutral getup into a Roy, right, who's mashing jab, right? So again, yeah, it's matchup specific, but against most opponents and most matchups, I do try to neutral getup once or twice just to get a feel for them, and then I'll start committing to different options. But that is just something that you need to think of on your own, and with your character, what options you have, and then against your opponent, what options they have and what options they'll favor. It really is very situational. Okay, so anyways, what happened here? So we're talking about that this opponent dash attack into your shield, and you had 10,000 years to react to a dash attack on your shield. So yeah, just do your homework, right? And or now you know, right? In hindsight's 2020, right? Maybe you thought the dash attack was safe on shield, right? But it's definitely not. Now you know. So you think of let's just say it's very important too, right? And again, in hindsight, is if you see your opponent favors an unsafe option in neutral, right, or hits you out. Let's say you get hit. Let's say you get put in this situation 10 times. It's very important for you to do your homework and recognize, okay, you know what, I've been put in this situation a lot, it's minus 26, and start theory crafting your optimal punish, right? Maybe you could do a B reverse up B. Sure, that's pretty fast. Maybe you could even do a down air right here, right? Down air into maybe back air or something like that. You're the Ganon main, this is on you, right? Think about your optimal punish for a move like dash attack, which you have so much time to react to. You can really get your optimal punish here. So they actually just mashed in the up B and it's going to catch you, right? So you had misplayed here. Now you're going to land, hey, hello, Nico_SSBU. Thank you for stopping by. It's nice to have people I know in this chat. So you're going to forward here. Ooh, this was really greedy, right? Granted, it works out, but you had done this a lot, so you gotta be very careful, right? Is you had forward air, you're landing, right? But then you burn your double jump with the intent of approaching it. Again, your birthday's in 3 minutes. Yo, Pog, wait. Can I get... Hold up. Hold up. I can add something to my OBS right now. Text. Wait. Add a new source. Wait, no, I got something better. Okay, Nico. Wait, I gotta get this out of here. You can't see it. It'll spoil it. No. No, we're doing it. Wait, no. Is it playing? Okay. Okay, 2 minutes. Remind me in 2 minutes. Anyways, I should probably continue this VOD review in 1 minute. We got time. It's 11:59 p.m. We got 30 seconds, right? Nico, how old are you turning? You're turning 17 or 18? Hey, CSP4, are you still here? Actually, who's here right now for Nico's birthday? Yes, 17. Don't worry, I'll edit this out of the VOD review. Yo, let's go, Raw Dog and Rolo. You're gonna be here. Okay, it's definitely not part of the VOD review. Yo, Pog. Okay, we're ready.
Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another birthday batch. Michael, it's your birthday.
No, it said
Nico.
Michael? I definitely typed in Nico. Wait, cringe. No. Uh-oh. Now I can't get out of here. Is this... I'm so sad.
Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another birthday batch.
Nico.
Nico, there you go.
Birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And
Nico.
you're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer.
Alright, there we go. Thank you. It has worked.
Rats, we are the
Happy
rats.
birthday,
Celebrate
Nico. I wish I
another
had
birthday
another
Nico.
batch. It's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way.
cake and ice cream is on
Nico.
its way.
You're such a good boy this year. Open up your gifts while we all cheer. Rats, we are the rats. Celebrate another birthday batch.
Nico.
Alright, this is production value right here.
Cake and ice cream is on its way. And
Nico.
you're such a good boy this year.
I guess it kinda does, huh? Alright, well anyways. There we go.
Rats,
Happy
we
birthday,
are the
Nico. You're
rats.
now
Celebrate
17 years
another
old.
birthday batch.
I don't really have a
Nico.
birthday present for you, but
It's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on its way. And
this will
Nico.
have to do for now.
you're such a good boy this year.
Alright, now
Open up
back
your gifts while
to
we
the
all
VOD
cheer.
review. Actually, what else? We'll go give you a follow on Twitter. Nah, it's too much effort. Alright, anyways. Y'all go follow Nico_SSB on Twitter. That way, you could get more Twitter follows for his birthday. That's something. Alright. Back to the VOD review. Wow. By the way, y'all, it's been 1 hour and 12 minutes of VOD review, and I've gotten through almost 1 whole minute of gameplay. And this is kind of the pace that I go, and that's just life. So again, burn this double jump. We already talked about, hopefully now, at least, I don't want to repeat myself too much. So yeah, burning your double jump with the intention of approaching like this, especially with this falling there, I think has extremely low odds of success. Yes, it worked out right here, but I don't think it's the right game plan. Okay, you're unfortunately gonna get hit. Get an area in disadvantage. Okay, don't get punished for it. Okay, he had done this earlier in the stock too. Right, so you held shield again after the axe. First time you got hit by that forward, so this time you didn't, so good. If you adapted, good. Okay, he's gonna unfortunately forward tilt you again. Now, this, getting hit by this honestly isn't too terrible, and here's why. right? Obviously sent you off stage, but what I meant was the first time you were put in the situation, you got hit, right? So you didn't have a chance to adapt, right? Now, this is kind of a fresh situation, right? You've never been in this situation. Oh, the pace you go really helps you realize how intentional you have to be, literally everything you do. Well, you have to be, how do I say this? In the heat of the moment, when you're playing this game, it is impossible to be this intentional with literally everything you do. However, it is very important to recognize in hindsight the intentionality you should be putting into this, right? How intentional your game plan should be, how intentional your counterplay. Like try to have as many things thought of, right? And that way your brain power can be like moving and positioning will one day become second nature if you start intentionally thinking about it now before the match starts, right? Before a match starts, you should already kind of like have an intuitive sense of where you should be, where you should position, how you should get punishes. Like it should just be kind of like reacting, and that way your conscious, active thinking can be committed to looking and learning your opponent, right? You should have as many things sorted out and be like kind of like autopilot. Like positioning properly, approaching properly should be autopilot. Like you shouldn't. Eventually, right now it might have to be intentional. Right now, you may have to consciously think about when do I jump to approach, right? But eventually that will become autopilot, and you can start looking at your opponent at all times, or reading your opponent, or keeping track of what your opponent's done. You could only do this if you have the brain power to spare to it, and there's only so much you could consciously think about. Like it is literally like it is impossible, right, to be able to do just everything. Just because there's just too much information on screen, you can't consciously think about where to position yourself and also which buttons to press. Like you can't be looking at your controller. Like the example I could give is that when you first started playing video game, the first time you held a GameCube controller 10,000 years ago, you had to actually look at the buttons. You had to actually think about pressing the big green button, but it eventually became intuitive. And hopefully now, the first time you moved with your character, it had to be intentional, right? But now it's autopilot. So these fundamentals will eventually become autopilot. But so yeah, I think more accurately, you shouldn't try to be intentional with literally every move. Like you shouldn't be in game and be like, okay, now I need to think about when I'm going to jump. But you should at least have that intentionality when you're thinking about the game abstractly, or when you're reviewing the game in your mind, or when you're literally reviewing the game with a VOD. You should be thinking that intentional. IMO. Okay. See there. So yeah, as I said, while you got hit, I don't really blame you for getting hit by this second forward tilt, since this is a completely novel situation. Because the first time you had gotten hit, right? Now you actually shielded it, so good. See, that was counterplay layer 1, shield it. But now your opponent has the opportunity for counterplay. Okay, you shielded it. Well, now what? Right? And now you're probably gonna do something else. Right? Here, you pick jump. Oh no, you picked to run forward. Okay, so his second forward tilt, think about the options it covered, right? I'm pretty sure the Belmont forward tilt is actually not very laggy, right? I think you could do several of them pretty quick. Yeah, it's got 30 total frames, so even if you roll past it, you can't really punish it. Like, because your roll is like 28, 29, 30. Your roll is like 31 frames, right? For Ganon, forward roll is 32 frames. So even if you roll past the hit of the forward tilt, you're not explicitly an advantage. So in a sense, forward tilt covers roll. If you shield again, it's gonna like break your shield or shield poke you. If you had spot dodged, you can't really punish this on spot dodge, right? Likewise, the only way to beat this would probably be to jump, right? And look at it, it's also -8 and -7. You don't have time to do much, right? But you can jump. Or if you're not sure, right? One thing you can do is, until you know what your opponent's gonna do, if you're put in situations like this, you could jump backwards. So just to be clear, when a character has 3 types of jumps, you could press jump and hold forward, and you jump diagonally forward, jump press nothing, or jump and hold back, right? So you could jump either forward, normal, neutral, or back. So if you're stuck in shield right here, like I don't want to be holding shield anymore, right? You could roll. Some players, some professional players, they will roll backwards here, because in order for him to punish your roll back, he has to read it, right? Or you could jump backwards, which is also pretty hard to punish, right? But roll back and jump back are two pretty common things, right? So just a thing to keep in mind. If you're not sure what your opponent's going to do next, and you're like, I don't like this situation, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't look at the situation and be like, ah, yes, time to get a juicy punish. No, you should think about, this is a tough situation. This is an awkward situation. I've never been in a situation before. You know what? I'm just going to get out of it. Jump back. Roll back. So yeah, I think dashing forward is not the right play, but again, it's not too terrible. Because now you know, like, oh, that was pretty safe. Because unless you looked at this before the match, you had no way of knowing. It was -7, you had no way of knowing that it only has 30 frames, and he hasn't forward tilted you much this match. So that was a learning, that was a novel situation to you. So the fact, you shouldn't be hard on yourself for picking the wrong option in this situation. This is completely new. Okay, so now you're off stage. He's gonna axe. Okay, you jump to avoid the axe. You grab the ledge. Ooh, you're able to neutral get up right in time to shield his holy water. Ooh, okay, good reaction. He actually had charged this, so you're able to react. You roll forward. Okay, good. And you forward tilt him off the stage. I'm glad I actually think. Okay, so this didn't work out. Okay, this didn't work out, but you had the right idea, right? You hit him, and you immediately, no hesitation, ran forward, right? And just ran off the stage to up air to place that near your hitbox to contest the whip recovery, right? So you had the right idea. You're like, okay, I'm gonna forward tilt him. I'm gonna immediately try to hit him. So I respect this decisiveness, right? That decisiveness is the decisiveness you should have in neutral, right? It's really easy. Well, not really easy, because a lot of players aren't this decisive after they get the hit. I'm really glad you are, right? It's a good sign. You need to have this decisiveness in other aspects of your play too, right? So I'm glad you have developed it for your advantage state, right? I know it didn't work out, right? And this is simple. But it's the right idea. This is what you want. Keep this decisiveness moving forward, right? After you get the hit on an opponent, close the gap, and this is how you make the most of your advantage state, is holding forward, and over time, this will become more intuitive. Over time, you will naturally get a feel for how much hit stun your opponent has, how, after you hit them, how much time you have to do, right? But I think going for it is the right idea, even if it didn't work out and he got the reversal. Now, with that being said, you can mentally theory craft on your own. Let's just say you know you can't make it out here in time. Let's just say you know that, right? Well, then think about the options you have for the ledge trap situation. But so you didn't, let's talk about this situation though at hand. You didn't get the edge guard. Now you're at the ledge again. Okay, trying to get back. I don't know about this. This Velma is feeling kind of weird at the ledge, but you're like, okay, your back is facing me. I'm just gonna ledge jump. That forward air was very aggressive. However, I think it's a good, like, wake up, like, bro, what are you doing? So I think this was good, but keep in mind, this is the only time you use your double jump and forward air. Now, granted, you do this double jump a lot and always try to approach with it. So I kind of feel like it ended up being the right play, and I actually think it was the right play, because your opponent's, like, playing kind of weird. You're like, bro, what are you doing? Let me hit you. Yeah, I don't know what your opponent's doing. So if you know that your opponent kind of is playing a bit weird or suboptimally, I think going for this type of, like, I'm just gonna hit you type of play is fine. Oh, yeah, I don't know about this whiz kick. Okay, so you're running forward. If you're trying to whiz kick to get the ledge cancel, I get it, but this is okay, so I appreciate the creativity, right? So you're like, okay, I have an opportunity. My opponent's in disadvantage, I'm too far away, I'm gonna try to get a wizard kick. Alright? So definitely, as you play the game more, you'll be in this situation enough times to have recognized, okay, you know what, this isn't gonna work out. Sure, this time it didn't work out because he got hit by the holy water, but he had thrown that holy water after you started your whiz kick. You had no way of knowing that holy water was coming, right? But going for this wizard's kick, ledge cancel here, pretty big commitment. Your opponent still had jump, right? Your opponent could have done anything right here, and keep in mind, whiz kick, like, look, it's got a pretty small hitbox, so it will lose out to projectiles a lot. Like, look at how small that hitbox is, and look how Ganon unfortunately sticks his head above this. This is important. This sounds like it's nitpicking. Like, you know it's a small hitbox. But when you're playing against a zoner, a lot of zoner players... Oh. A lot of zoner players... Okay, Pog. Happy birthday, Nico. A lot of zoner players, they like to land with a projectile to cover their landing, especially if they're getting hit off stage. So this projectile that he did right here, don't think that this was a big brain projectile. It's not. This is actually a small brain projectile usage because it's the most 0 IQ. I'm a disadvantage. I'm going to use a projectile. It is such a common habit, right, that you need to get ready for it. It doesn't matter if you're playing against a Joker. Jokers will, like, side B right here, right? Joker, Toon Links will either pull out Bomb, Boomerang, like, Ivysaurs will always Razor Leaf right here. Just keep in mind, every single zoner, when they're in this position, will throw out a projectile. So you need to be ready and don't whiz kick against the zoner, because unfortunately you might get hit. More often than not, you're going to get hit by the projectile. So he did a very dumb and greedy holy water. Not gonna kill you though, very surprising. Okay, now the axe is gonna kill you. Yeah, you're kind of living on borrowed time anyways. It's alright. We're gonna respawn. Now we're gonna look... how late is it? Okay, so this VOD has already gone on for an hour and a half. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch this. I'm not gonna get through the entirety of it, right? However, as you can see at the pace I'm going, there's no way I was gonna get through it all. I will, however, review at least till you take his stock. Hopefully you don't get 3-stocked. Okay, so you have now respawn. You are now invincible. Let me see what you do with your invincibility. Okay, not terrible, however, this, you kind of have to go, like, you're invincible, right? I don't think you made the most out of your invincibility. Like, you did this double jump nair. Like, look where you placed your hitbox, right? Okay. You know what? Okay, wait. I'm starting to become a fan of this option. Okay, granted your Belmont picked a very funny option, and he down tilted to go off stage. Because they're like, wait, you can't ledge trap me. I haven't seen you ledge trap me once. So I'm purposely put myself at the ledge. And you had read that he jumped. Okay, look. You know what? You know what? I take it back. You actually had a good play here. Believe it or not. You had a good play because this is actually very common, is for people to try to jump over you, right? Either the player's going to try to roll past you or jump past you when they go in the corner. So I think this covered that option pretty well. Obviously, he picked something completely different. But you had no way of knowing that, because this is the first time that you're respawning with invincibility. So you're basically just guessing right now, because you kind of have to guess. You've never been in the situation before against this opponent in particular. He did this funny option. You didn't know that was coming, because how could you, right? You had no way of knowing he was going to do this, so it's fine. I think this nair with the invincibility is fine. Okay, you tried to jump. I see you tried to jump over the projectile. You initially shielded. And then you decided, right? I think I saw a few frames of your shield. Am I crazy? Yeah, okay, so you flashed your shield, and then you're like, oh, now I'm gonna jump over it. Fortunately, get hit by it. It's okay. It's okay. You're starting to develop the right idea here. Jump over the cross, but obviously you're not 1000% familiar with how your character's model is going to, where it's going to be after you press the jump button, right? This is like this just comes with time. This is platforming in a sense. Like the first time you play a platformer game, you're not familiar with how far your character is going to be after you press the button to dodge things. It happens. So it's fine. Okay. And he gets, yeah, because you got hit by the cross, right? So you weren't able to get the ledge trap. Ooh, that was a funny air dodge. I don't know about that. Okay, so on the topic of fake tech situations, this is a situation right here where you could have just like done a fair, inputted fastfall, and you could have tried to use an auto cancel aerial right here to avoid a tech situation, but kind of looks like, oh, I'm trying to avoid it. It looks like actually you're trying to avoid a tech situation with your air dodge upwards. And I get that. So actually, good on you for being creative, and you're like, I'm going to avoid this tech situation. So I'm just letting you know, I want to help you out here, and that this is not how you should avoid a tech situation. What you should do is right before you land, auto cancel, right? Input that auto cancel aerial right before you land, or you have another option too. You can fake a tech situation. What you can actually do is you can input a directional air dodge down, right? And then, right before you land, hold left or right, so it'll look like you're going to tech in place, but actually you tech roll away or in, right? You can also do this, you can diagonally input a directional air dodge down and towards your opponent, so they think, oh, you're going to tech roll towards me, but then you actually input the tech the other way. You can do really tricky things with your tech situations here. However, this directional air dodge upwards is very easy for him to react to because it is extremely slow. So you actually spend a lot of time in the air. So we're gonna watch this again. Like, just look at how much time you spend in the air. Yeah, like, look at all that time you're in the air. He had time to react to that air dodge and position himself to get a punish. Actually, minor note here. As you see, you actually had time to put up your shield. It is a minor detail you want to look out for when you're playing is if you, anytime that you hold shield and your opponent grabs you, is a missed opportunity to spot dodge. So this is one way you could look at it, right? Is anytime you can visually see your shield, right? If you can see the shield bubble, you can spot dodge, right? Yeah, there's some times where your opponent could like grab you like as a combo and you can't do anything about it. But think about it, if you're a neutral, right, and you were able to look like see the fact that you put up a shield and you got grabbed, that think of it as a missed spot dodge opportunity, right? So you could be like, especially if the longer you hold out your shield and you get grabbed, that's more the odds that your opponent's reacting to you holding shield are going up. Try and mix in a spot dodge. If you spot dodge, right, and you like just do you if you spot dodge and your opponent whiffs grab and you do some spot dodge cancel funny thing, that's so tilting to players, right? So don't let your opponent grab you for free. Just a minor note. I'm not saying that's what you did here. However, just react to the fact that like, oh, he actually doesn't have the cleanest execution, and don't just shield and give up, right? Be like, you know what, I'm just going to spot dodge this. I'm at 18%. Even if he reads my spot dodge, what's the worst he's going to get? Like, until your opponent proves to you that they have a nasty punish on your spot dodges, right? Like, just absolute insane. They're going to read the spot dodge and get this optimal training mode combo. Until your opponent proves that to you, you have no reason to respect them and just hold shield. Assume they're going to whiff until they prove to you that they're not going to whiff. Or assume that, okay, maybe they might not whiff, right? Hello, Mustang. I'm actually 1 hour and a half into your VOD, but thank you for stopping by. I still have more to say, so don't worry. Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you for sending in this VOD. This is quite interesting. It's not often I see a Ganondorf play. It's not often I see a Ganondorf versus Belmont, right? So, thank you for sending it in. It's not easy. I said this at the start of the video. I'm going to just tell you right now directly. It's actually not easy to open yourself up to criticism and to be like dissected and pulled apart. It might not feel good, but it's really respectable because you're putting yourself on the right path forward, right? It's like recognizing that you might need help in some things, right? Is really important. I wish more players had the capacity or the self-reflection to want to be reviewed, to want to be criticized, because most players don't, I feel. Right? Most players just want to hear they're not bad. right? They're like, okay, yeah, I'm not bad. That's all. That's it, right? So this is good. Thank you for sending this in, and it hopefully nobody like talks shit about you because you submitted a VOD for review, right? If anything, right, people should be respecting the fact that you're brave because you're putting yourself up on the internet, right? And not only that, like, bro, I can see you right here. This isn't even like some anonymous VOD you're submitting, right? You're submitting yourself a VOD publicly, right? And that's not easy, right? This isn't easy. It'd be one thing that you're playing like Counter-Strike or something and you submit your VOD as like Rando Mustang number 69 and nobody knows who that is, right? But we're picking you apart publicly. You even put this on Facebook, right? So that's really, really, yes, it's thank you, Nico, for saying it's smart. It shows desire for improvement, and that's really, really important. Oh, hey, Zedekai, did you tell Nico happy birthday yet? You should tell him happy birthday. Oh, also, Mustang, it's Nico's birthday. Tell him happy birthday in chat. Anyways. Oh, he did? Wait, I didn't see it. Alright, whatever. Anyways. He was like the first one. That's cool. Alright, so we're gonna get back to this VOD review, right? Not in this chat though. Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, anyways. Anytime you see your shield, this is a minor detail when you're looking out, right? In the heat of the moment, it can be hard to notice, and there's so many other things you should probably be noticing before this, but especially in the VOD, the more times you see your shield and that you got grabbed, think of those as missed spot dodge opportunities. But anyways, you're gonna get grabbed. Not the end of the world. Okay, down throw fair. Okay, I didn't know Belmont could do that. Nico, Ganon, Cloud, how do I win that matchup? What you gotta do, never beaten a good Cloud in your life. While fundamentally, Cloud is the better character, you gotta... Okay, he's gonna tell you when you get an opening. Yeah. Anyways, so now you're off stage. Okay. Ooh, tough. You got 2-frame by the axe? That is tough. I also thought you were gonna make it back and not get hit by this. So this is just unfamiliarity in the matchup, right? You're not... The axe kind of does travel in a weird... Like, the gravity on axe is a bit funny. So maybe you thought you were safe recovering like this. But it looks like it hit you rising 2-frame. But if you see the axe coming, you can actually hold your up B and try to snap the ledge a bit further out here, rather than hugging the stage. I think hugging the stage increases the odds you get hit by the axe. Or maybe you didn't know it could go through the stage, but now you know. You got hit. And you got a smash. That is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It'd be like that sometimes, man. Don't worry. Okay? You could have delayed it. You could have also delayed it. You have mix-ups for it, but it is a really bad spot to be in. More often than not, you're not going to pick the right option. Again, if you're not familiar with this matchup, you're not going to know the exact... As I said, the gravity, the axe, is a bit deceptive. Yeah, I do think you could have gone away from it too, but maybe you weren't so sure exactly what's going to be. But I think in general, hugging the stage is probably not the right play. So one thing, so now you respawn again. And remember, the first time you respawn, you did a full hop nair to call out his jump. And you saw that he did a funny downer to go off the stage. So this time, you should probably, remember, you're invincible, right? So when you have a read, you can go commit for that read. Because you're invincible, you don't have to worry about the counterplay. So you're gonna respawn. Okay, so you did a quick fair, covered the landing. You stand here, did a short hop nair, just roll away. I think you rolled away while you're still invincible. I think you probably should not be wasting your invincibility with a roll or a spot dodge or anything like that. Oh, also the longer you stay on the heaven platform, the less invincibility you have. So I'd highly recommend just coming straight down and running at your opponent. Right? Y'all, that's a thing, right? Please tell me that's a thing, and I'm not spreading fake news, but anyways. Look this up. Okay, Heaven platform. We're gonna look this up right now. Heaven platform respawn invincibility. Respawn invincibility. I swear this is a thing. Revival platform. Please, 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 please. Okay, whatever. I'm not reading this. Oh, this is a revival platform. Whatever. I'm over it. Kind of shocked from what happens. Oh, I see. See, that's why you paused. Okay. Okay, I didn't think about that. You're like, whoa. You believe the longer you stand on the platform, less invincibility you have? Yeah, I think so too. So just immediately get off that platform, run at your opponent. So this fair almost hit. Run at him again. Oh, you're just acknowledging, wow, you died from that. Yeah. You know what? I get that. I get that. So I actually think you should have reacted to this cross. That was a free dash attack. Like, yeah, you saw the cross? You could have just dash attack because he's in lag. But instead, this is like kind of again with the I think you need to think about what you're giving up, like going into the air and trying to land with this nair, right? I think maybe you're not aware of just. I know your nair itself doesn't come out that slow, but you need to think about that all this time that you from the jump squat to you floating over here and then nairing. That's a long time. Whereas running forward, just holding forward, keeping running, and then dash attacking, it's a lot quicker, right? So you actually did not have enough time to punish because you saw the cross, but then you choose to jump forward, fast fall nair. It's just too slow, right? And then you rolled away. You didn't have to roll away. You were still invincible, right? But he whiff grab. He tried to grab it. Okay, so this is wrong on both y'all's ends because not only did you roll while you're invincible, but he tried to grab an invincible opponent. So yeah. Okay, now you're gonna flame choke. Okay, the cross went off screen, so I don't blame you for losing track of the cross. I don't blame you, right? But keep in mind, what are the odds of this flame choke having worked? Again, pretty low. Because he'd have to like just run forward into you. For this flame choke to work, it probably would have. Yeah, you're trying to call out a jump with the flame choke, with the grounded flame choke. Oh, if that was your intention, I think if that was what you're thinking. Oh, he's gonna jump out of shield. You feared the grab. I see. Again, as you spend more time in the matchup, you will start learning and get a better sense of what your opponent will want at certain percentages, right? Like, you shouldn't never fear. It's okay to predict options, right? Or having reason to believe your opponent will do one thing or another. But you have to be given reason to, right? Also, if you fear a grab, what you really see saying like, okay, I think my opponent's going to grab, right? Think about possible grab counterplay, right? Don't think I have to side B to beat out him running forward and trying to grab me. Because what you can do is so let's just say that's your intention. Wait, the nair? What about the nair? It's like, yeah, I know that nair hit you. Kind of sucks, but... Oh, do you mean you feared him grabbing you, or you feared going for a grab? Because I'm reading that normally, and I think that you're trying to say you feared him grabbing you. And just think about if you suspect that your opponent, the flame choke was just pure reactional. Oh, no thought behind it. Yeah, that's okay to recognize that too. It's okay to recognize when you're just just pure, truly just a guess. That's pretty normal actually. Important thing to recognize is that especially the newer you are at a game, right? Any game, any video game you play, the more things you're going to be doing without thought, because you only have so much thought that you like. There's only so much you can be thinking about at a given time, and there's only so much you can think about over a certain period of time. This is very normal, right? You could call it whatever you want, but the point is, there's mental fatigue that happens, right? So the more novel situations you're in, you feared him grabbing you out of the corner, but you still have invincibility. Yeah. It happens. It'll become very second nature how much invincibility you have the more you play. But anyways, it's it's quite normal, but you misjudged that let's say you rolled. Yeah, that's why you rolled away. That's what I figured. Like obviously you didn't know you were invincible and then rolled. Like obviously in hindsight you could like, well I'm invincible, why would I roll? That's really obvious, right? But in the heat of the moment, right? It's clear that obviously you didn't have an intuitive sense of that. But that comes with time, so don't worry. A lot of things that a lot of players will not admit, right? A lot of players will not admit just the extent of how many things they do without thinking, right? Especially lower and mid-level players, right? They just refuse to have the self-reflection to realize that they're literally just guessing a lot of the time, right? And that's okay. Like, it's very normal to guess a lot. It's very normal because you're like so focused on so many things. Like, there's a lot of information to process, right? It'll be overwhelming at first that you can't notice the finer details, right? You can't think about. You're busy thinking about how am I gonna get in versus you have to how do I say this? Until it becomes natural to you how for you to get in, you won't have the mental capacity to spare to think about how is your opponent gonna get in, right? So, anyways, it's okay to recognize when you're just wishing. That's fine. A lot of players, I see so many players throw out so many moves that they're really just wishing. And when you watch the VOD, it's very obvious they're not thinking about where their opponent's going to be. They're just thinking, I got to get this hit, right? So yeah, it's okay, right? If it feels like I'm trashing you because of the options you're picking, right? I promise you I can pick apart any player, like even Crump, right, who's a really good player, and in this VOD we're like, wow, he's doing a lot of dumb things. That's just natural, so don't worry. Anyways, moving forward, so you get hit by this run up there. Okay, it's gonna send you behind. Okay, you do a little back air. Is back air your lowest landing lag aerial, or were you trying to auto cancel? Because I don't think you got the auto cancel, and I don't. Yeah, okay, whatever. It's 1 frame difference. You could have done up air. Back air. Back air has 6 frames of auto cancel. So yeah, I think back airing like this is fine. Just time it better. Oh, maybe you did get the auto cancel. Right. Hell no, bring it on. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Okay, perfect. I see that when you're really far away from your opponent, you can recognize that when you drop your shield, you need to move forward. Right? So I can tell that at least here it was instinctive for you. Oh, well, I'm obviously too far away to get a punish, right? Oh, and then you jumped on this platform. Okay, jumping this platform, you've done this. So I don't want to repeat myself, but you've done this before. Don't put yourself on a platform like this. I talked about it earlier in the VOD, right? This is. I don't think you're not giving yourself the advantage of jumping on here. Again, I think what's happening is you're trying to get a certain jump spacing to land your nairs, but you're not going to accomplish that by being on the platform, right? Because you only have so much ground to move, and it's so obvious for your opponent to react when you jump off and try to nair. Stay on the ground. You're going to jump off. Your opponent has 10,000 years to react, and you're like, oh, wait, I'm going to also... Oh, Zedekai, you're going to say something. Okay. What is it? Let's hear it, Zedekai. Oh. Yes. Thank you for commending him. I wish we would commend more players for opening themselves up for review. Okay. So you jump forward and you're like, the last time you were in a similar situation, you recognized your opponent had 10,000 years to react to this and shield it. So this time, at least, you did not make the same mistake twice. Thank you. And actually, this is kind of a recurring theme, is I do think it does seem like you're learning, right? You recognize the first time you were here, this didn't work. So you're like, let me pull the brakes on this, right? Let me pull the brakes on this, but you get back on the platform, right? Now you're like, okay, now I'm going to jump again. And again, you recognized, oh, well, I'm way too far away now. So now you do land straight down without inputting an aerial because you recognize the aerial had no chance of connecting. So this is good. This is good. You recognize your bad spacing. So you recognize your bad spacing. And you landed straight down. Thank God you landed with no aerial because now you're able to shield. And now, boom. This thing has dash attack your shield. Last time with dash attack your shield, you didn't get a punish. However, you should have recognized, wow, I had a lot of time to shield this and punish it. Do you get a punish? There is no way that works, but hey. Or actually, this has like 2 frames. You're barely able to get away with this. Because that dash attack is minus 26, I guess if you buffer shield drop into side B, he has like 1 or 2 frames of shield and he can't spot dodge. Right? Wow. Did you accidentally pick like a frame perfect punish? Yo, let's go. Frame perfect punishes? Let me see. Minus 26. Flame chokes frame 16, right? So dropping shield flame choking is frame 27. His spot dodge comes out frame 3. So if he had, keep in mind, a lot of players in Ultimate immediately with punish into buffer spot dodge. You're always spot dodging, right? So he spot dodges, it comes out frame 3. So this had like 2 frames of working. That's kind of crazy, actually. So you picked kind of a frame perfect punish. So let's go. I think you could have gotten anything you wanted. Right? Hey, flame choke works. So you experimented. Like, huh? You recognized it was laggy. So you at least you recognized it was laggy. So now you're like, okay, how laggy is it? Do I have time to drop shield flame choke? Maybe that's what you think your optimal punish is. So you go for it. He misses tech. Down tilt. Does down tilt cover tech in place and miss tech, or just miss tech and yeah? So I know there's a spreadsheet online you could probably get from Ganondorf mains who have labbed out that exact situation on every single character and what options they can cover. So you probably want to reference that spreadsheet, do your homework. It worked out, but I don't know if that would have covered tech in place. If it does, great. Perfect. Okay, now your opponent's invincible and throws out a projectile wasting their invincibility. Wow, they let you off the hook here. But can you... I know this isn't you, and we're supposed to be analyzing your play. But can you recognize why this is such a huge misplay from your opponent? Yes, tech in place and misses tech. Perfect. And that down tilt's great. If it covers both options. But you have to time it, right? You have to time it? Yeah, I'm surprised that killed too. I'm kind of shocked. Like, you can't buffer the down tilt, right? Or is it buffer down tilt? You probably should have lived, yeah. But anyways, point is, he's gonna respawn. Throw a projectile. If you have a pocket zoner, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Don't have a purpose. Like, your invincibility is valuable, right? Don't look what he's doing. He summons one projectile. Then he runs away and throws another, and now he's no longer invincible. He wasted his invincibility, so I hope you can recognize when your opponent explicitly misplays. This is like a blatant misplay, I think, from them. Not unless they had like this super, no timing required. Hey, let's go. Okay, but one minor thing you did here, you rolled away. You rolled forward specifically, right? After shielding that projectile. That roll accomplished nothing, and it's explicitly wasted movement, right? if your idea was, I want to go right here into the corner, because keep in mind, because you're near the corner, this roll barely puts you anywhere, right? But not only that, if your goal really was to, like, you don't need the invincibility from your roll. Because there is nothing. Right now, your opponent's in lag, right? This cross just hit your shield. Your invincibility has... You're not going to dodge a move with your invincibility. So the invincibility aspect of your roll, completely not necessary. And then for movement, if your goal really was to go right here, you could just drop shield and walk, like dash forward. That would have been faster, right? So this roll, I don't think was good. Okay, now you're gonna move forward back to the position you just were. Wow, oh, you should have just dropped shield. Okay, you react to this axe, and you're like, wait, my opponent's being dumb. But you jump and put yourself back on the platform. I already covered this, so yeah, you already know why I don't think this is a good idea. But I can see your thinking. I can see your thinking because you do this jump and you're like, this isn't gonna work. So then you jump again, you're like, this isn't also not gonna work. And you try to land straight down, but this time your opponent adapted because the last time you fell straight down, right? I think your opponent is reacting to the fact that you're jumping here, and now you're gonna jump straight down. So he sweeps your landing. This is the thing. That's why you don't want to put yourself on a platform, because if you try to approach in the air off of a platform, it's just too reactable. But yeah, I already covered this. So again, I think this is a fake tech situation. Alright, so analyze real quick. We're going to go frame by frame. 1, 2, 3. You can see your air dodge. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you tech. You could have auto-cancelled. If you have enough time to see your air dodge come out, that means it was a fake tech situation. You had no reason to tech this. This is explicitly suboptimal. You could have just either try to auto-cancel your aerial and have the minimal amount of lag, and even if you miss your auto-cancel timing, you're going to have 10 frames of lag. If you, let's just say you try to do auto-cancel back air, 11 frames of lag. Okay, wow, you didn't get the auto-cancel, but now you only have 11 frames of lag, and you hold shield instead of being put in a tech situation, right? You also could have jumped, but you probably don't want to jump here. I think it's good that you're landing towards the ground, but again, fake tech situation, and something not many people talk about, so I don't blame you. But you should just... So yeah, you tech in place. Yeah, tech in place here before and got punished for it, so yeah. But ideally, this is not a situation you should even be in. He can just A-land. Yeah, that's another way to call it. Attack land. He could just do that. Correct, Nico. It's very important that very important that you do that. Avoid fake tech situations at all costs. So cross hits you. He whiffs his forward air? What do you do here? Let me see. I'm gonna watch this again. Can you jump forward aggressively? Be really careful. Make sure this isn't a habit. Right? Because this is extremely risky when you're at the ledge to try to jump aggressively back on the stage. It's an extreme risk, and not only that, it is very common for low and mid-level players to do this, right? Because the psychology is, oh, I don't want to grab the ledge, right? I'm just trying to... This is like the least effort solution you can do, right? Oh, man, being on the ledge, that's uncomfortable. Right? So you're like, I'm just trying to get back on the stage. But you need to consider that because this is so predictable, all it takes is your opponent higher level players will look out for this, and they'll preemptively read this, hit you, and now you're set off stage. So your opponent has so much to gain from this read. If they read this, they're going to knock you towards the blast zone, and now you're trying to recover with no jump. It's just so easy to edge guard. And because better players recognize that they have so much to gain from going for this read, better players will go for this read a lot of the times. Even if it's just a complete guess, because it's a guess that's disgustingly in their favor. Because if they guess right, you die. And if they guess wrong, whatever, you grab the ledge. So it's basically like no risk for them to go for this guess. Now that being said, he didn't have the proper execution. He's not going to go for that guess. You're trying to whiff punish the fair. This fair? Okay, okay, okay. That's what I said, like, make sure it's not a habit. So your intention was to whiff punish this fair? Okay, well, recognize it is mathematically impossible. That fair has too little lag for you to be able to... 10 frames of landing lag. That was mathematically impossible for you to punish. Don't get baited into trying to punish it. So now you know. You can't whiff punish it. Yeah, look at how much time he had. He had enough time to jump into the air, do a landing fair that's not close. Okay. Now you land, you shield. Now he jumps away again. Okay. Ooh, okay, this is better movement. This is better movement right here. Okay. Jump. You thought about going to this platform. You thought about it. You're like, maybe you thought you were actually gonna land on it, but now you're like, no. You know what? I'm not gonna land on this platform. I'm gonna land. Okay, parry. Parry, nice. I'm gonna run forward. This is what you should be doing. This is the right idea, right? Ideally, you don't even want to parry this projectile. Ideally, however, right? It's still good, right? This projectile doesn't have that much lag. This projectile, I think, only has like 6 frames of shield stun. So let me see. I'm looking at Ganondorf. That will explain it. 7 frames. Yeah, it's got 7 frames of... Okay, I don't know which one of these you suffer. I'm not enough of a frame data nerd. However, I think it's fine. And you can see here, this was the closest you've gotten to breaking the zone, to breaking his zone in a good way, right? And it happened because you approached on the ground. So you parried this, you ran forward, and then he jumped in the air. He's like, oh shit, now he has to land, and you're closing the distance. Right now, you're in a good spot because he's in the air, you're on the ground, you're running forward. Your dash attack, and he was barely able to get out of the way. But this was the right idea. Now you learned. Next time you approach like this, you're going to stay on the ground a bit further. This is just an execution error, right? But you're really close. This is the closest you've gotten to solving this puzzle, right? Yeah, you get punished for it, but it should not discourage you, right? That should not discourage you. Is this another fake tech situation? I think this is another fake tech situation. Oh my god, this is too much effort. Let me see. Yeah, whenever you're reviewing a VOD, whenever the smoke trail stops, that's when you're out of hit stun. So right now, you're able to act. You could have just pressed, again, we already covered this, fake tech situation. You're gonna get hit because of it. The ledge. Okay, yeah, this whiz kick was wishing. That was kind of a reach. I don't think much needs to be said about that. Ooh, he definitely misspaced. This, like, I know, like, Ganon has, like, one of the lowest ledge hangs in the game for no reason. But I think he could space this to hit you anyways. He was just misspaced. He had neutral get up the last 2 times. I think you could try jumping here. Or try rolling. I think you neutral get up the first time. I think you could jump. So, anyways, don't pick the same option at the ledge every time, but that goes without saying. It's up to you as an individual, as a Ganon main, to think about what option you have at the ledge, and before the match starts, already think about, especially against Belmonts, who fiend, their existence thrives on the ledge. You think about what options you have and be very diligent in being smart at the ledge. I know that sounds really vague. It kind of is, right? It's kind of abstract, but you'll learn it more if you play this matchup more. Okay, so you can react to his axe. I think if you... So this is what I mean. Just walk it through. I'll walk it through with you. Right now, you can react to this axe. You will probably react to this. Ideally, you should always be looking at your opponent, right? So right now you should be watching your opponent, because you don't have to watch this cross. This cross isn't going to two-frame you, right? You need to look out for your opponent, because maybe he does a funny go off stage, try to nair you type of thing, and maybe you can react in time. You can look at him. Okay, he's dashing back. You're like, oh, that's weird. He's dashing back. Is he setting up? What's he setting up for? He's jumping, right? Okay, you should react. This axe has come into existence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, more or less, you'll react. If you're looking at your opponent, you'll react to the axe being here, right? But if you only see the axe come out now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If you try to watch for the axe after it leaves his hand, it'll be here. Right? It'll be here. Whereas if you're watching him and you look at the axe animation, right? Because you can see the axe come into existence. It's not like other projectiles where he's just putting his hand in his pocket, then he throws out a cross comes out immediately. That axe comes into his hand. So it's very important to recognize there are very few projectiles in this game where you can actually do this, right? But it's important to recognize when your zoner, the zoner you're fighting against, when they actually have a projectile that you can react to as before it's summoned. That way you can react appropriately. So you could have made the appropriate reaction more or less right here, like, oh, well, silly me, I could just roll. I could probably just roll. Or jump. You could do jump air dodge, maybe, right? Just think about the options you have. If you know the axis here, you can like, oh, I'm gonna jump air dodge, or I'm gonna jump, or I could let go of ledge, jump air dodge, land on the stage, something. I don't know. This is up to you as a Ganon to come up with the idea. But the key takeaway here is, keep in mind when the enemy zoner has a projectile that you can react to before it's summoned. So an example is Me Gunner Grenade. You can react. Me Gunner Grenade comes out frame 36, and you can react to her like bending her arm, so you can react to it. Now, I don't know exactly when this cross comes into existence, like frame data wise. Yeah, like it comes out frame 30, but I can't tell you which frame exactly it comes into existence. But the key takeaway here is you can react to this axe as it's in his hand, right? Then you could react appropriately. So now you're gonna neutral get up again. Oh, this is a good reaction, right? You're like, now he could play a mix-up game. Obviously, when the Belmont down tilts your shield, you're playing there's a 50-50 there. Like, are they gonna finish it or not? But you're like, he probably won't finish it, because it'll put him off stage. I think that's a fine guess, right? It's a fine guess to assume, until proven otherwise, that if you're in this situation, the Belmont's probably not going to do it. So you can just safely jump to the first hit on reaction. Now you recognize, oh, now he's shielding like a dummy, right? Then you get a free back air. Now there haven't been many situations this game so far where I've been able to see how you play around shield pressure. Because you haven't hit him very much, right? You haven't hit his shield very much, either with nair or back air. I think this is the first back air on shield I've seen all game. But now we're going to see, do you have a game plan after hitting someone's back air with the shield, right? This is really important, right? Because this is a situation that should be in your favor more often than not. So your responsibility is to look at your back air, be like, it's -4, right? That's pretty good on paper. But now think about what follow-ups you can do. Think about, and I think of all follow-ups, not just the move follow-ups, what movement follow-ups you can do, right? Like, where can you position yourself? Can you run up and grab? Can you side B? Can you up B? Like, what options does these cover? Unfortunately, since this is only your first time back airing his shield, you haven't had a good chance, right, to get a read for his habits. However, I remember that when you first nared this guy's shield in the first stock, you forward tilted afterward and it did not work. So I'm really hoping to see that you don't just forward tilt. So you back air and you forward tilted. So this shows me you kind of have a pre-wired game plan after hitting this person's shield, and that is to forward tilt. And I want you to break this game plan, because the odds of this forward tilt connecting, I already said this at the start, so I really don't want to repeat myself, but you weren't here, right? So basically, after you hit someone's shield with a quote-unquote safe move, right? His options are limited because he's stuck in shield, right? And you think about what is likely to work, what is not likely to work. Not only is his forward tilt not fast, right? So it's like his forward tilt comes out frame 10, right? It's not fast. So your opponent has so many options. Like, what if they panic spot dodged? This would lose. What if they panic rolled? This would lose, right? What if they panic jumped? This would lose. This loses to everything except your opponent pressing no buttons or pressing really stupid buttons, right? So this jump right here is pretty common. So you need to think about, obviously, because it's, look, I know it sounds like I'm being mean, right? But because it's the first time you've been in a situation, you haven't had a chance to understand and adapt to your opponent. But just because it's the first time you're in a situation, you need to have a game plan ready to pick an option that can cover a lot of options, right? You could, for instance, right, you could just sit here and wait. That's one option. You can sit here and wait. You can side B. You can up B, right? What if you up B? That will cover jump. That will cover shield, right? Yeah, it's kind of a risk. So I think you could do a nair. You could do an up air, right? These are just things you need to think about. You're the Ganon main, right? So you think about what options you have, what they cover, and what your opponent is likely to do. You wanted him to press a stupid button. Yeah, he didn't give it to you. It happens. Now you're like, oh, I forward tilted. It whiffed. But now your opponent's going to land. Okay. Parried. A lot of people think they can punish the back air. Well, the thing is, if he had actually buffered a back air and a shield, I think he could have hit you. No, it's too slow. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people maybe think they could shield grab it, and then you could spot dodge to cover that, but his back was facing you. If his back is facing you, I don't think he has a lot of quick options. I think you could just hold shield right there. If you just hold shield, if your opponent inputs a back air out of shield, you could just, I think you should just hold shield right here, actually. Yeah, I know in hindsight, up B looks great, but I actually think that the ideal game plan, okay, maybe there's no ideal game plan, but I think a really good and safe game plan, if you know nothing about your opponent, keep in mind their back is facing you. They literally can't grab you. All they have access to is their back air, their up B out of shield, or try to roll through you, right? Or a spot dodge or a jump. But they're in the corner, right? So they can't jump back. They can't roll away. They can't jump back and retreat to more stage or something like that. They have to pick an option here. You could just hold shield. You could react to the jump. You could react to this jump and then back air. Like, you could react to the jump, back air, right? You could react to this jump, nair. You could react to a roll, grab and back throw, right? You're in a great position. You actually don't have to commit to anything. You could just hold shield. And if they do a back air, if they do an up B out of shield, because they're dumb and they think they can punish it, free punish because you shielded his up B out of shield. If they do a back air out of shield impulsively, right, you could just hold shield and free punish because that's a rising back air. So it's not safe. So yeah, I think holding shield is the optimal option. Definitely not forward tilt. That's pre-commitment. Okay, sick parry. Unfortunately, your up B was just misspaced. Sick parry though. This stuff I think happened, right? Misplace happened, so I'm not gonna dwell on it. Okay, oh, nice. Nice. Get up attack. Quick note, right? If your opponent whiff punishes at the ledge, right? Get up attack is highly reflexive, but get up attack is not fast at all, actually. You look up, let's look up. I believe get up attack is like frame 30? We're gonna look up get up attack frame data. Ledge stats. Attack frames. Oh, it comes out frame 24. Okay, so let's Ganondorf. Ganondorf. So that thing comes out frame 24. See you in the next stream. You need to sleep. Hey man, thank you for tuning in once again and sticking out with me for so long. This is a long VOD review. It's the longest I've done so far. So thank you for being here this whole time. It means a lot. It makes what I do more rewarding when I see people actually like listening to what I'm saying. A lot of people who want to learn, and that's good. But anyways, so your get up attack, right? Frame 24. Think about also get up attack is not safe on shield at all. Like it's actually extremely unsafe on shield. Ganondorf minus 21 on shield. Granted, it's not the worst get up attack in the game, right? It's got good range or whatever. But what I'm getting at is not safe, and it's actually not even that fast. And as the real kicker, it's not even that rewarding, right? If you think you could go for this punish, I think dropping from the ledge and like ledge release into buffered like down air or something like that is more rewarding. And I actually think not only is it faster, I think it's faster, it's safer, and it's more rewarding. So I think it's a small well, it's pretty small, right? But it's just a thing to think about. I think it's an optimization opportunity. Is think about your optimal punish on the ledge right here in case on whiff, right? Think about your fastest option. Think about your most rewarding option, right? Think about your safest option, right? I think get up attack is actually neither of those. The only time you should get up attack is if your opponent is charging a smash attack. What makes get up attack special, right, is you should only consider get up attack when you need the invincibility. And that's it. If you don't need the invincibility for get up attack, like right now you didn't need it because he had whiffed an attack. If you're not using the invincibility from get up attack, don't get up attack. That's its only strength, is its invincibility, right? Other than that, it's not optimal, right? So I think just ledge release, down air, grants you get up attacked, and jump over the cross. Ooh. So this was better. This was better spacing. So I think you're slowly getting better spacing as this match progresses. So this is what I mean, right? Right here, you committed to the jump. However, unlike before, where you used to like jump all the way back here, here you jumped and you're pretty close to your opponent, right? This is good. However, I think you double jump, and that actually is what made it so that you didn't have enough time to punish. Because your double jump puts you way high up. Like, I think if you had just jumped and then done a fast fall forward air, you would have hit him. I'm pretty sure. Or at least hit his shield with a forward air, which if it's spaced, isn't terribly unsafe. I think it's, what is it? For you, it's -7, right? Yeah, it's -7. So yeah, he might be able to up B it if he has good reaction. But the point is, I think that's multiple times now where you try to approach by double jumping, and I think it actually makes it harder for you to approach, not easier if you double jump. Yeah, I think this jump spacing was perfect, but the double jump itself made it not work out. And now you realize the awkward situation you put yourself in, and then you try to land. Ooh, yeah, you try to air dodge because you're like, oh, well, now you messed up, and you visually react that you messed up, but guess what? Because you double jumped, you couldn't jump backwards realizing your spacing was wrong. You were all in, basically, because you double jumped, right? So you went all in on an option that's less likely to work. Just normal hop. You can do a full hop fastfall. Actually, I think Ganondorf has a surprisingly good full hop fastfall. I might be crazy here, but I actually think he has a pretty good full hop fastfall. Where is it? Jump durations. Okay. Full hop fastfall times. Ganondorf has the 3rd best full hop fastfall in the game. That's pretty funny, actually. At 29 frames, right? So obviously 29 frames isn't terribly quick, but in comparison to like other characters, it's pretty fast. So keep that in mind. You can just do one full hop fastfall, just a quick quick fluid motion and input your forward air and time it properly. Whoa, okay. You thought you're gonna get stuck on the platform? So here's the thing. Oh, okay, so just so you know, you can visualize, it's kind of hard to explain, but the platforms don't have to be there if you don't want them to be. You can always hold straight down and go straight through the platform, but this is a character a character basis, is you might not be able to jump through the platform, fall through a platform, because you could just hold down and go straight through the platform. So the platform is in a sense invisible to you until you need it, until you don't want it to be, right? But if you have to input your aerial really high up in order, because let's say you have a slow aerial that you have to input before you drop through a platform, then it won't work, right? Because you'll obviously get stuck on the platform after you aerial. But until you input the aerial, you're able to fall through a platform as if it's not there. And that's it's a little counterintuitive, and I see some players, it is really counterintuitive actually, and I see a lot of players kind of get stuck on the platforms, right? Like they feel like they have to use the platforms in a sense, like they can't, they forget that they can fall through. So go to Battlefield and just start jumping around. Just jump around as if those platforms are not there. Just pretend that Battlefield is Final Destination. I know this sounds really stupid, but I could find clips on Twitter of people like not realizing they're unable to approach because of the platforms. You think, like for instance, when I play Me Gunner and I can tell that my opponent doesn't realize that the platforms don't have to get in the way, I will hide under a platform, and for some reason my opponents will get stuck on the platform above me and they can't approach me. It's really awkward. But better players know they can just hold down. Like even Ike, can actually fall through a platform and input Nair, and the Nair comes out before they land. I don't know if Ganon can do that, but that is for you to test. Okay. Throw it back here. Okay, so this roll was good. However, I think I have something to say, but right before it, I don't think you can trade with this projectile, but this is up to you to test. Can you nair? It looked like you were trying to nair the axe. I don't know if you can nair the axe to get rid of it. I think you can't, but that is actually up to you, unless you already have prior knowledge of this. But anyways, you're gonna land. You're gonna shield it. Again, ideally you shouldn't be shielding it, but you're kind of you kind of put yourself in a situation where you had to. Right? I get that. Now your opponent thought you were gonna jump out of shield, but you actually rolled forward, and I think this roll forward is fine. You hadn't done this yet. This is what I mean about using your rolls correctly, right? Now he's gonna do. Ooh, okay, good jab. Wow, your jab beat out the Nair. Okay, jab him off stage. Okay, you're being ambiguous with how you're gonna ledge. That's good. You're moving from one position to another on the ledge. Kind of keep him guessing about how you're gonna ledge trap him. Oh, you can nair the trade with the axe. That's cool. I've tried that before and it doesn't work. Must be character or move dependent. All right, up smash. Pretty typical. Pretty typical Ganon ledge trapping. Personally, I don't know why I honestly don't know why he neutral get up. I think when you're faking, just a minor note, when you're faking out your movement at the ledge like this to keep your opponent guessing, try to like at least throw in one like nair, because in this movement you never threw out an aerial to make me think that you're trying to cover ledge jump. If I saw this, I would have ledge jumped. Now, unless you're playing some 4D underwater backgammon or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna throw out my things, so he thinks he can ledge jump, but really now I'm gonna back air. But I don't think you're at that. How do I say this? That's like Evo Grand Finals types of mind games. More likely than not, usually my opponent kind of shows what they want to cover before you get to the ledge, right? So keep him guessing. Like you could like just throw out like one nair before he even grabs the ledge, before he can even ledge jump. Just throw out a nair that he can never possibly run into. But you'll be surprised the psychological pressure that faces, that your opponent thinks that you're willing to cover this option. But because you only stayed on the ground, I'm like, smash attack, right? Up smash. Pretty typical. It's fine. Hit him with the back hit. Alright. Now he's stuck in the corner. He does Ugga Bunga projectile on the corner. And luckily, your down B covered spot dodge. I don't know if you're intentionally covering the spot dodge, but if you were, good on you. That was good. Oh no, the back hit of the cross. That's tough. But this was pretty clean movement though. I think he had pretty clean decision making right here. Right? It didn't work out. It'd be like that. Ooh, okay, this was not clean movement though. So you got hit by that nair. It didn't complete. Maybe you thought the nair was gonna complete. But then you do this directional air dodge is really bad. In general, try to avoid directional air dodging unless you have an explicit reason to directional air dodge. Don't do it because if your opponent's on the ground, they can just react to this, right? And it's like this is so much less likely to work out than just neutral air dodging. Because not only is the directional air dodge significant, it takes you a lot longer to get to the ground, but then once you land, you have twice the landing lag. So don't do it. Again, it's kind of a common thing I see. But yeah, like your opponent had 10,000 years to react to this and get an optimal punish. They choose to cross when they had no cross. Oh, cross hadn't despawned yet, so he spawned an empty cross. It'd be like that. That's tough. That's tough on his end. So he didn't get an optimal punish here. But this should not have worked out for you. You should have been hit by the cross or grabbed, one of the two. So don't directional air dodge is a moral of the story. Unless you have a specific reason or a specific mix-up, you're trying to get to a platform where you see a Greninja charging a smash attack, going for that neutral air dodge read. Until they hard commit to a neutral air dodge read, you pretty much have no reason to directional air dodge. Okay, he's in a... Okay, sick parry. I don't think this parry was intentional. Ooh. He had a nasty movement right here. Okay. Okay, unfortunately hits, doesn't connect, you're landing. Okay. No air dodge, just land right here. Then he just tomahawks, tries a tomahawk grab. You drop shield, turn around side B. I don't know what you were reacting to. To be honest, I actually had no idea what you were looking for when you threw out the side B. I'll be completely honest. I have no idea why you did the side B. I have no idea why you did the drop shield, turn around side B. I've seen you do it before, so I'm starting to think this is either completely random. This exact same situation came up before, where he actually whiffs a grab, right, and you side B him for it. But I'm convinced this feels like it has to be kind of a random side B. But anyways, see side B, flame choke. He misses tech again. Okay. That's a good mental to keep track. Like, wow, my opponent really do be missing tech. Ooh, okay. This was nasty. This is a good mix-up from you, right? So you jumped. I actually would have reacted to this jump. I'm like, oh shit, right? So here's the thing. In general, people don't react. If you do a short hop falling aerial, you can't react to the falling aerial itself. What you're actually reacting to is a jump, right? Because the falling aerial is just too quick, right? So I actually thought that, oh shit, he's going to cover my ledge jump, right? I'm going to neutral get up. Because last time I neutral get up and didn't die. So now I'm going to neutral get up. So this is good. That this time you side bead, right? And this flame choke is nice and lingering, so we'll cover both neutral get up and neutral get up spot dodge, more importantly. So this is good. And last thing, you smash attack. This time, you covered multiple options. You either covered a panic shield or a panic spot dodge. So this is good. Oh, okay. Hey, this is a good. This is good. I will make one note though. One minor note is there's only one. There's actually only two options. That this actually. Hey, so tell me, does would up smash have killed here? Because up smash, I think up smash could have covered both him rolling and neutral get upping, right? If he's at up smash kill percent, I think you should go. You should favor up smash instead of turning around F smashing. Granted, obviously there was one option he could have picked, and that was get up attack. But a lot of players aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna get up attack. They're either gonna roll away or roll forward. This is extremely common. So this shows me you actually have a lot of familiarity with this situation. But I think you could have optimized this further if up smash would have killed here. If up smash would have killed here, and you know it, I think picking up smash could have covered both options. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna kill though. Nasty. Ooh, one stock, one stock. Okay, this time, this is good this is a subtle adaptation I noticed, right? Is you put yourself on the platform again. You're slowly starting to realize that this isn't a good spot to be in, and rather than jump forward here, like you've done in the past, like jump towards him, you actually just retreat off the platform because you're like, wait, this isn't a good spot. So that's good. Ooh, unfortunately though, this rolling past, I see you're experimenting. You're like, I'm gonna roll past the axe because I don't want it to hit my shield. That's good, but okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world, especially if your opponent doesn't react to it. He could have reacted to this right now. Your opponent has no reason to look at his own character. He just needs to look at you, right? He had more than enough time to react to you rolling and punish you, but he chooses to jump back, right? But anyways, good on you for realizing this platform's not a good spot. So you get yourself off the platform, and then you jumped, and I think you're slowly breaking the habit jump. So here's how it starts, right? Because when you break a habit, at first you don't realize it's there, but then you start realizing it's not good. But usually you do the thing, and then you're like, oh, that's bad. So you start the action, and then you you half commit. But this is part of the process, so don't worry. So you jumped here, and you're like, wait, this is a bad jump. I'm just gonna land. Okay, good. You see the axe coming. You roll forward. Not the most terrible thing in the world again, but I think ideally you would either drop the shield preemptively, right, and move out of the way, or try to spot dodge it. I think rolling it is pretty slow. Try to hit him with the back hit. I could see you trying to hit him with the back hit of this. It's not gonna work out. Ooh, unfortunately this time you're rolled. This roll away was actually bad. Because again, when you're rolling, you gotta think about what you're using your invincibility for, right? If you wanted to reposition, right, I think you should try to reposition you towards him, but repositioning away from him is not a good idea, right? I think you should have spot dodged right here instead of rolling away. Obviously, rolling away into the axe is the worst possible thing, but maybe you didn't think that the axe was gonna. I don't think you thought that the axe was gonna be there. Otherwise, obviously, if you knew the axe was gonna go there, you wouldn't have rolled there. Get in there. Huh. Okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful here. If you intentionally try to nair this, just a little thing, I don't know if you noticed, you gotta keep track of the cross a bit more, I think. I think that should have hit you. Unless you were intentionally trying to nair that cross to cover your landing. Roll away. Oh, now you're at the ledge. How do you get out? Okay, put yourself in the ledge again. Let's mix up. I think your opponent's not familiar with ledge trapping. Okay, put yourself on the platform again. Yeah. At least this time. This time right here. I think you're slowly starting to get the hang of it. Like you're like, okay, your opponent's playing weird. So you're like, can I move forward? Question mark. My opponent's playing weird. Okay, they're just gonna let me get off the ledge. Alright, so your opponent lets you get off the ledge. Oh, do you want to put yourself on the platform a lot because you know how to wave land? That's a subtle thing, but some players do. The waveland probably is optimal for Ganon now that I think about it, but okay, so you put yourself on the platform, you jump, you're like, okay. You're starting to slowly recognize this jump forward's bad. Now you jump, you go straight down, and then you approach. And this is really important. This is really, really important. Is that when you don't have the spacing between you and your opponent, it's really hard for a lot of new players to, lower level players to grasp this. Is that you don't want to try to force your way in a single jump, and a lot of players do, but you did it. You were like, okay, I'm gonna jump, land, then run forward. Thank you. Force you to get hit by the axe. Okay, so now you're on the platform again. You're like, what do I do? Hey, you did the thing. You did the thing where you held down to go straight down through the platform. Fortunately, it was into a cross this time, right? But I can see your thinking, and unfortunately, the more you unfortunately, when you're caught in novel situations like these, you're forced to think about them, and because you're thinking about them, you kind of start losing track of the other things. Like, I don't blame you. You're like, oh, I could just go through the platform. Okay, got hit by the cross. It'd be like that. Thank you. This was the cleanest approach you've done so far. This right here. And this is how you should be trying to approach. You're like, okay, I'm gonna run forward, jump over the projectile. Perfect, thank you. Then you do one jump, you fast fell. Thank you. You finally approached without double jumping, right? Clean. And not only that, but you read your opponent's next option. You realized you have broken the projectile zone. You're now dealing with all the other options. And you grab instead of dash attacking. That was very, very good. I can't stress this enough, that this was like fundamentally, like the most fundamentally perfect approach. I want to use this as background footage actually in my how to approach video. That this is how you want to approach. We're gonna watch it again. And you read that projectile. That's even more ideal. You read the projectile, you knew where it was gonna be, so you jumped over it before you even saw it. Then you did a tomahawk grab, because you knew he was gonna shield. Good. Down throw. What follow-up do you get? Unfortunate, you didn't get your follow-up. So the execution wasn't there. The follow-up wasn't there. But that approach was a clean approach, and that's the key takeaway here. That's such a shame. Such a shame that that's how the match has to end, right? But if you haven't, just do your homework. And obviously, I know, like, you know, you're it's your last stock. You're at kill percent. You're more likely to flub. But I don't know what Ganondorf's optimal punish is with max rage. Is just a quick note. Do you know your max rage optimal punishes? Like, are they significantly different than your no rage ones? I know the Belmonts might not be the most common character, but the more you have to fight against a character, the more you should probably think about, maybe I should look up what the optimal punishes are at 0. So that was the best punish? Well, you got hit for it, so it clearly can't be the best punish. Down throw. But down throw nairs aren't true. That is so sad. That's so sad. But then I guess it's not the best punish then. Maybe you should have down throw bared. Hey man, if this is on you. This is on you to do your homework for guaranteed damage. Yeah, do your homework. Find out what's guaranteed. If you have a sick read on your opponent not mashing air dodge or not knowing how to DI, most players are going to DI your down throw away. So make sure you know what works on what DI, and especially at 0%. Down throw nair is weird. I've heard of down throw nair, but I've actually never been able to do it myself, so I thought it was actually kind of a meme. But anyways, it is such a shame that that's how the match ends, actually. But I'm so glad that I was able to see this good approach, this beautiful approach, just once before the end of this VOD. Did you know? Were you aware that this was like a really good approach? Okay. So normally, against a lot of characters, it's pretty reliable. Against a character with the combo breaker, me not so much. I was. Okay. I'm glad you were aware. So, I've already spent 2.5 hours on this VOD, and we got through game 1, and it's 1:30 in the morning. So, we're just gonna go through the start of the next game, because I'm actually very curious to see, only because you adapted at the very end, am I going to watch the start of the next game. I don't usually do this, right? But I'm going to see. Also, look at this production value. Let's go, Joey. Thank you, production value. So, alright, not gonna switch. Thank you. Sticking it out to learn your character. I think you're trying to cheese him because you go to Yoshi's. I get it. Let's see how you approach now. Ew, why is it lagging? Okay. Right away, I see you started off and went to the platforms. Okay, I don't know about this. I don't know about that spacing, but... Okay, kind of mashed the down air. We kind of got a bopped right now. Okay, that nair was wishing. That forward tilt was wishing, but it hit. Alright. Okay, that dash attack only worked because he did a bad axe. That was a really dumb axe. Alright, so more or less more of the same, right? But it kind of feels like I think you're actually struggling more on Yoshi's, and this shows me that, especially if you haven't fully internalized the spacing you need against a zoner, changing the platform layout could kind of like reset the progress you made and realizing like the learning you got from the last game, that realizing that the platforms were a bad place to be, kind of forgot it because now you have a different platform layout. So now you're wasting mental energy. You're not wasting mental energy on figuring out a new stage layout in this matchup. That's kind of what it looks like. So you're like, how do I use these platforms? Spoiler alert, not like this. That dash attack was wishing. That down air was bad. Yeah, I had mentioned it earlier in the VOD, so don't want to repeat myself, but try not to mash down there and disadvantage. That's the thing between Ganon and Falcon main. So anyways, I'm actually gonna call it. I'm gonna call it here for the VOD, since I'm kind of getting a feeling that I'll be repeating myself a lot. But thank you for sending this in. It was really interesting to see. It's not every day you get to see this, and it's extremely important. Ganondorf kind of is one of these like fundamental characters in the sense. I'm trying to say he has great fundamentals, right? But when you make a fundamental mistake with Ganondorf, it is very obvious when something was fundamentally sound or fundamentally not sound, right? So it kind of like it's a very exposing character, right? And it's not particularly rewarding if you have amazing fundamentals, but it's very punishing, which actually makes it easier to review, in a sense, right? Get a lot of talk about faster characters are more forgiving, can sometimes mask poor fundamentals, right? Or worse fundamentals relative to your opponent. Because when I say poor fundamentals compared to Leo, we all have trash fundamentals or whatever. So it's just relative to your opponent. When you have worse fundies, it could get exposed if you play Ganon and the opponent doesn't. So anyways, thank you for sending this in. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Thank you for sticking in. Thank you for tuning in and sticking around until 1:30 in the morning. But I'll actually have this uploaded to YouTube as well. so you could like watch the first half of it that you weren't here for. You've got a lot of work on. Don't worry, man. We all have so much to work on. It's a never-ending thing. Like there's no end to the learning you can do in this game. There's always something more to work on. And one of the key things about Smash is you gotta enjoy the work. Alright? That's fine. Right? Remember, everybody starts from zero in this game. So anyways, you do love this game? That's good. That's the key thing, is loving the game. And you did some positives. You did do some cool things that I could highlight. You had some good movement here that I can show other people. So, anyways, take care. This is gonna be it for my stream. But if you haven't followed my stream, please do. I need those